Uchiha is your typical nobody hunter. He awakened 5 years ago, but only got the labor class. With zero skills or talent, he spends his days either running a small shop or picking up leftover scraps in dungeons just to scrape by. But everything changes when he falls asleep over a book and suddenly wakes up in a mysterious, magical forest, just by trying to save a dying twig. Uchiha unexpectedly receives the blessing of nature and powerful skills he's waited years for. Now, this former underdog is on a journey to tame legendary spirit beasts and completely flip his fate around. The story begins with
bustling metropolis of Seoul, South Korea. During the year 20XX, life seemed to flow with an uninterrupted rhythm. Each day unfolded like the last, a tapestry of ordinary moments as countless individuals moved through their routines, unaware of the impending shift. The illusion of eternal peace, however, was shattered by a cataclysmic event. A sinister, purple crack tore through the very fabric of the sky, signaling the arrival of a dungeon. The ominous rift expanded rapidly, its dark tendrils snaking downwards, casting an eerie glow over the unsuspecting city streets below. Amidst the growing chaos, a man stares in horror, clutching his phone as he questions, "What is that?" His companion covers her mouth, eyes wide with terror. From the depths of the purple void, grotesque monsters with glowing eyes and razor-sharp teeth began to emerge, their forms menacing and alien. Countless creatures poured from the dungeon, unleashing a wave of panic. People screamed and scattered, their lives suddenly cornered by overwhelming fear. In the frantic stampede, a woman stumbled and fell to the ground, her small form engulfed by the terror as others rushed past. The scared brown-haired girl looked up, her face contorted in a silent scream of "Hayek!" and "No!" as a monstrous shadow loomed over her. Massive, hulking monster raised its glowing axe high, ready to deliver a fatal blow to the helpless civilian below. But just as despair threatened to consume everything, a blur of motion streaked across the ground, hinting at a sudden intervention. From the depths of desperation, hope emerged. A swift, armored figure, the dark-haired swordsman, intercepted the monster's attack with a glowing blue blade. The scared brown-haired girl, still on the ground, looked up, her terrified expression slowly shifting to one of dawning realization as she witnessed her savior. It was the hunters, a specialized force battling the monstrous invasion, their skills and powers radiating across the chaotic battlefield. These hunters not only defended humanity but also brought prosperity. From defeated monsters, valuable resources emerged, fueling a new era. Thus began the Age of Hunters, powerful individuals who stood as humanity's shield against the encroaching darkness, their legend igniting a new world. In the Hunter Association, a new system was established for registration, a bureaucratic process for those seeking to join the ranks. A female clerk, reviewing a document, expressed her surprise, remarking, "It's my first time seeing a labor class." She then directly addressed Jiha, inquiring, Mr. Jiha, didn't you get any skills? Or any traits?" Jiha, with an awkward smile and a scratch of his head, confirmed, "Yes, I didn't get any, haha." Days passed under the clear blue sky, life in Seoul gradually returning to a semblance of normalcy, albeit a new one. In Seoul Sector 7, a unique establishment known as the Hunter Store stood, a beacon for those navigating this new world. The scared brown-haired girl and scared brown-haired man, now calm, entered the store, their presence signaling a mundane transaction. Behind the counter, Jiha, the Hunter Store owner, greeted them warmly with a welcoming smile. Scared brown-haired girl, pointing excitedly, declared, "We came to get some potions." The scared brown-haired man affirmed, "Ah, right." Recognizing him, the scared brown-haired girl asked Jiha, "You are that man who got the labor class, right?" Jiha, a hint of surprise on his face, simply replied, "Ah, yes." She pressed on, "Is it really true that you don't have any skill? How do you hunt then?" The scared brown-haired man quickly interjected, "Hey, that's enough." Jiha chuckled awkwardly, "Ahaha." The scared brown-haired man apologized for his companion's bluntness. "Sorry, she doesn't know how to read the room." Jiha, scanning a basket of potions, reassured him, "No, it's okay." Jiha explained his unique role, "I don't have any special skill, so I don't hunt and just gather resources at the back." The scared brown-haired girl listened intently, a thoughtful expression on her face as she processed his words. "Aha, is that so?" Jiha, holding a glowing potion, snaps back at the scared brown-haired girl, questioning her curiosity and urging her to stop wasting time. She, however, calmly retorts that there's nothing wrong with being curious. Suddenly, the mundane street outside is disrupted by the rumbling passage of a military tank, followed closely by an ambulance, their sirens wailing. From inside the shop, the scared brown-haired girl observes the passing tank, deducing that a rank 3 dungeon must have opened nearby. Jiha, watching alongside her, notes the ambulances and expresses a longing to be part of such an event. The scared brown-haired girl sharply dismisses his ambition, reminding him that their current skills are far from sufficient. Jiha, visibly annoyed by her bluntness, finds her words increasingly bothersome. Jiha stands quietly, his expression pensive as he processes the scared brown-haired girl's cutting remarks, a silent moment of contemplation. Politely, Jiha bows in farewell to a departing customer, wishing them well as the scared brown-haired girl walks away with the gray-haired male merchant. Later, Jiha gazes out from a balcony, lost in thought about the abundant resources found in rank 3 dungeons. A sigh escapes him as he acknowledges that he would never be contacted for such endeavors. 5 years had passed since Jiha awakened. He had received a unique class, Laborer, but it came with its own set of limitations, glowing green energy swirling around his revealed status window. Status window confirmed his class, Laborer, and his modest stats. Jiha lamented that he possessed no skills or traits, crushing any dreams of joining other hunters to clear monsters in dungeons. This forced him into a different role, a scavenger. After companies or guilds cleared a dungeon, Jiha would enter to collect the discarded leftovers, which he then sold for profit. He held an old, ornate book, a symbol of his quiet life. He knew his work went largely unrecognized by others, a solitary existence in the shadows of the dungeon world. Despite the lack of recognition, Jiha found contentment, as his earnings were enough to support his cherished hobby, reading old books. A small musical note floated above him, indicating his quiet joy. His hands delicately turned the brittle pages of an ancient tome, the soft rustle of paper filling the quiet space, a tranquil moment of escape. Jiha sat peacefully at the counter of his shop, engrossed in his reading, surrounded by shelves filled with various bottles, a scene of quiet domesticity. A wide yawn escaped Jiha, his hand instinctively rising to cover his mouth as drowsiness began to set in. He propped his head on his hand, his eyes heavy with sleep as he pondered if the difficulty of the book was the cause of his sudden fatigue. His eyelids grew heavier, his thoughts consumed by the overwhelming desire to sleep. He felt an intense drowsiness wash over him. Finally succumbing, Jiha slumped forward, his head resting on the open book as he drifted off to sleep, ending his day's reading. As Jiha slept, the old book on the counter began to glow with an ethereal green light, mysterious energy swirling around it, hinting at an unseen power. The green energy intensified, engulfing the book in a vibrant, pulsating glow, the power within it seemingly awakening. Jiha's sleeping face was bathed in the soft green light, surrounded by gently falling leaves, as if he were being drawn into a verdant, mystical forest. He jolted awake, his eyes wide with shock and confusion as he found himself in a lush, unfamiliar forest, exclaiming, "What the?" A close-up reveals Jiha's utterly bewildered face, his mouth slightly agape as he utters a single, confused word, "Where?" He stands alone in the middle of a vast, misty forest, a sense of profound disorientation washing over him as he questions, "Is this place?" Jiha pinches his cheek, wincing in pain as he confirms this is no dream. He then wonders if opening his status window might reveal the nature of this strange illusion. He calls up his status window, revealing his familiar laborer class and stats. After a moment of scrutiny, he concludes that nothing special appears to have changed. Jiha's gaze sweeps across his surroundings, a concerned expression on his face as he muses that this forest feels distinctly peculiar. Standing amidst the thick fog of the forest, Jiha observes the unnatural silence, noting the absence of any animal sounds and the limited visibility. His eyes land on strange, glowing plant-like growths on the ground, resembling twigs that had been battered by a storm, the only clear sight in the mysterious fog. Jiha bends down for a closer look at the bizarre, glowing plants, expressing his unfamiliarity with such peculiar fruit. Jiha leans in, a system window materializing before him, revealing the plant as an ether herb LV.1. Its description promises 0 ether consumption for all skills for 10 seconds, prompting Jiha to question if the incredible plant description is real. Jiha brings the glowing ether herb closer, his eyes wide with amazement, marveling at the incredible effect of 0 ether consumption for 10 seconds. A system prompt appears, detailing the concept of ether, an essential fuel for hunters to activate any skill, with consumption directly tied to a skill's power. A sense of wonder washes over Jiha as he ponders the herb's incredible properties, lamenting that he has no bottles to extract its precious liquid. A sudden thought flashes in Jiha's mind, a spark of an idea igniting in his eyes. Jiha observes a small, seemingly withered plant. Its leaves, despite its frail appearance, possess an unnatural vibrancy amidst the surrounding ether herbs, making him fear it might perish if left unattended. With a gentle smile, Jiha decides to offer a helping hand to the struggling plant. Jiha extends his hands, a shimmering blue energy flowing from them, revitalizing the small plant with a gentle touch. Standing back, Jiha gazes at the now healthier plant, expressing his hope that his efforts were enough to sustain its life. Jiha stares in disbelief as two new system notifications appear: Plant Amiability LV.1 and Blessing of XXX LV.1, both granting him new traits. He exclaims his shock at gaining a skill and a trait just by tending to a twig, noting this has never happened in 5 years. The small plant, now pulsating with golden light, reveals an astonishing network of glowing roots delving deep into the earth. Jiha's eyes widen in utter disbelief, his gaze fixed upwards as he utters, "Impossible, the old tree." Jiha watches in stunned silence as the colossal tree before him begins to dissolve into a cascade of shimmering light, questioning if it's truly disappearing. Jiha jolts upright at his shop counter, his face a mask of shock and confusion as he exclaims, "What the?" Jiha surveys his familiar shop surroundings, a bewildered expression on his face as he questions his sudden return. Jiha rubs his eyes, a sigh escaping him as he concludes that his fantastical experience was nothing more than a dream. His gaze sharpens, focusing on his hand, where traces of dirt are clearly visible. Jiha holds up his hands, covered in actual dirt, a look of profound surprise replacing his previous calm as he questions its presence. On the counter, a book lies open, displaying an illustration of a magnificent, glowing tree, strikingly similar to the one Jiha witnessed. Jiha stares at his dirt-covered hands, a lingering sense of bewilderment at their unexpected state. Jiha questions if he's a sleepwalker, then dismisses the idea, noting the absence of any dirt in his locked shop that could explain his soiled hands. A new, speculative thought crosses Jiha's mind. Could he return to that mysterious forest simply by falling asleep again? A determined smile spreads across Jiha's face as he clenches his fist, resolving to test his theory and return to the enigmatic forest. Jiha finds himself once again in the familiar forest, a triumphant smile on his face as he exclaims that his experiment worked, confirming it's the same place. As Jiha surveys his surroundings, he observes that the forest appears wider and clearer than before, noting that the fog has noticeably dissipated. Jiha kneels, musing about the unprecedented nature of a dungeon accessible through sleep, before a sudden realization makes him pause with a surprised "huh?" Jiha's eyes fixate on a glowing yellow apple, immediately recognizing it as a rare solar apple LV.1. A system window appears, detailing its effect, increasing health potion healing by 20% while decreasing its duration by 80%. Jiha exclaims in awe, noting the extreme rarity of the solar apple, a treasure even in high-rank dungeons, and marvels at its impressive ability to boost health potion healing by 20%. A visual explanation appears, detailing that standard health potions offer only a small quantity, restoring about 10% of maximum health. However, with the solar apple, healing not only increases by 20% but its duration is also significantly reduced. Jiha's expression shifts to one of profound realization as he considers the full extent of the solar apple's benefits, beginning to enumerate them. Jiha, eyes wide with astonishment, remarks on the sheer number of solar apples, noting that there isn't just one or two, but a great many of them hanging from the trees. He ponders the incredible effects a potion would have if he could combine these solar apples with the ether herb liquid. He then questions if it would be acceptable to take just one or two, wondering if he could even store them in his clothes. Suddenly, a brown pouch drops from above, striking Jiha squarely on the head, startling him as he exclaims, "Ampifh, what is this?" As Jiha examines the item, he recognizes it as a pouch, while a system notification identifies it as a dimensional pouch. Jiha considers the implications of the dimensional pouch, wondering if he can use it to store items from this mystical place and bring them back to his general store. He notices it even contains some bottles. He lets out a nervous laugh, admitting that while he was just contemplating how to transport the items, the sudden appearance of a pouch from the sky is not only shocking but also a little frightening. With a decisive tone, Jiha declares that he now has everything he needs and will proceed to test if he can successfully take the items. Scene shifts to the following day, outside the hunting ground, a renowned hunter specialty chain store in District 7 of Seoul, where a chaotic crowd pushes and shoves, with people yelling to stop pushing and declaring they are in a rush. Inside, an armored hunter, frustrated, demands to know why there are no more paralysis resistance potions, while a store employee apologetically explains they have run out of stock and asks if he could wait for just an hour. Another customer, clearly stressed, urges the employee to contact other stores, stating they are going nuts and must enter the dungeon in 30 minutes. The employee confirms that even Witch's Cauldron is out, offering to try Pyramid next. The employee's eyes widen in surprise as he suddenly spots someone, muttering, "Huh, that woman." A striking female hunter, clad in dark armor with a flowing red cape and an aura of power, enters the store and calmly requests to speak with the manager. Onlookers murmur in awe, recognizing her equipment as rare class artifacts from Tier 4 dungeons, noting that it's understandable she possesses such gear, being the 12th highest-ranked hunter. An employee, flustered, greets her with deference, exclaiming, "Hunter Co. Hyunjin, you're here." The manager, surprised by her personal visit, nervously laughs, admitting he had no idea she would come in person. Hunter Co. Hyunjin explains she came because he wasn't answering her calls and directly asks if the potion they discussed yesterday has arrived. The manager apologizes, explaining that due to numerous bookings, her potion is still being prepared and asks her to wait a bit. Hunter Co. Hyunjin firmly states she cannot, revealing the critical deadline of finishing preparations and entering the dungeon in just 30 minutes. Manager, desperate to help, pulls out his smartphone and begins searching the map, muttering, "Let's see, general stores around here." Meanwhile, Jiha carefully holds a flask containing a shimmering, golden liquid, the contents gently sloshing within. Jiha meticulously checks his ingredients, confirming the presence of purified water, Undine's tears, and ether herb liquid, ensuring nothing has been left out. He then carefully pours the solar apple concentrate into a coiled glass apparatus, anticipating the potent mixture he's creating. A cascade of system notifications appears. Due to XXX's blessing LV1, a great success verdict has been applied. He has acquired the Alchemy LV1 skill and a special potion LV1 is created, granting 0 ether consumption for 14 seconds and recovering 14% of maximum health over 15 seconds. Jiha stares in disbelief at the notifications, stammering about acquiring the alchemy skill when even so-called alchemists don't possess it. He's utterly stunned by the potion's effects, 0 ether consumption for 14 seconds and significant health recovery. He gazes at the flask, pondering the mysterious XXX's blessing that could possibly yield such incredibly powerful effects. Jiha sits, looking exhausted, questioning whether he should even sell such a potent item. He admits he wouldn't know how to price it, finding its effects almost unbelievable. He wonders who would believe him if he claimed it granted 0 ether skill consumption for 14 seconds. Deciding against selling it for now, Jiha resolves to test the potion himself first, but his thought is cut short as he notices someone entering his shop. Jiha, with a wide, welcoming smile, greets the new customer, asking how he can help them. Hunter Co. Hyunjin, looking utterly desperate, immediately demands to know if he has potions, emphasizing her lack of time. Jiha, startled, exclaims, "Oh my god," as she points to the potion on his counter. Hunter Co. Hyunjin's eyes gleam with intense focus, fixed on the potion before her, a desperate hope flickering within them. Hunter Co. Hyunjin, with a hint of urgency, asks if the item is a health potion. Jiha confirms it is, but attempts to elaborate on its unique properties, only to be cut off. Hunter Co. Hyunjin presses Jiha for the potion's effects, cutting him off as he tries to explain it's not for sale. She apologizes, stating there's simply no more time for his hesitation. Hunter Co. Hyunjin firmly grasps the glowing potion, declaring there is no more time for hesitation and that she will take it if there are no immediate issues. As Hunter Co. Hyunjin turns to leave, she assures Jiha he can contact her guild if the potion isn't sufficient, then bids him farewell. Jiha, startled, tries to call out to her. Jiha stares in disbelief as Hunter Co. Hyunjin vanishes in an instant, leaving him alone in the shop. Tranquil blue sky stretches above, with birds soaring freely, a stark contrast to the earlier tension. Blades of shimmering blue energy pierce through monstrous mole-like creatures, their red eyes glowing with malice as they are swiftly dispatched. Hunter Co. Hyunjin moves with incredible agility, her form wreathed in a vibrant blue aura as she prepares to strike again. The rapid flurry, Hunter Co. Hyunjin leaps back, leaving a trail of shimmering blue blades impaled into the defeated mole creatures. 2 male figures observe the aftermath, one remarking on the impressive power of a rank 12 hunter, suggesting there's nothing left for them to do. The other notes the unusual comfort but acknowledges they too must improve their skills. The first man advises against bothering the sword witch, instructing them to quietly gather resources instead. The second man simply acknowledges. With a sigh, the first man explains that Hunter Co. Hyunjin has changed, becoming a solo player ever since that incident, whereas before she would have sought their cooperation. The second man questions the mention of that incident. First man responds with a knowing look, suggesting the second man wouldn't know about it as a newbie. Suddenly, Hunter Seo Hyojin cries out a desperate warning for everyone to run, startling the two men who question her sudden urgency. The two men stare in terror, their faces contorted in shock as they realize the gravity of the situation. Colossal Manstalker monster, an aversion-level threat the size of an armored car, emerges, its presence radiating extreme poison. One of the men questions why an aversion-level monster, typically found in Grade 4 dungeons, would appear here, while the other concludes their dire fate. Hunter Seo Hyojin charges forward, a blue aura flaring around her, angrily reminding them that she explicitly told them to run. Her boot pushes off the ground with explosive force, propelling her into the fray. Hunter Seo Hyojin confronts the massive Manstalker, her body enveloped in swirling blue energy and glowing runes as she prepares for battle. With a powerful swing, Hunter Seo Hyojin's glowing blade connects with the Manstalker, unleashing a devastating impact that reverberates through the air. Her blade clashes directly against the Manstalker's formidable defense, the monster snarling in response to the strike. The Manstalker retaliates with immense force, sending Hunter Seo Hyojin hurtling backward through the air, debris scattering in her wake. Hunter Seo Hyojin struggles to her feet, realizing the Manstalker is overwhelmingly powerful and that her ether reserves are nearly depleted. As the two men frantically flee, Hunter Seo Hyojin knows her remaining strength will only buy them a precious few moments to escape. In this desperate moment, Hunter Seo Hyojin's gaze hardens, reflecting on the grim reality of her situation. She envisions a glowing, ethereal figure, wishing for the presence of Sunghyuk Appa in this critical moment. Dismissing the fleeting hope, Hunter Seo Hyojin clenches the potion, reminding herself that Appa is no longer here. Her eyes fill with grim determination, knowing she can only rely on herself now. With a fierce resolve, Hunter Seo Hyojin dramatically gulps down the glowing potion. Her eyes widen in surprise as she finishes the potion, an unexpected sensation washing over her. Hunter Seo Hyojin stands enveloped in a golden aura, surprised by the potion's delicious taste and the overwhelming surge of ether now coursing through her. Hunter Seo Hyojin, now radiating with newfound power, declares her readiness to fight, the potion having transformed her capabilities. Empowered, Hunter Seo Hyojin lunges with incredible speed, launching a fierce assault against the monstrous adversary. A powerful strike from Hunter Seo Hyojin carves through the monster, blue energy lines radiating from the impact as the beast lets out a pained growl. Hunter Seo Hyojin stands victorious over the fallen monster, a look of disbelief on her face as she processes the sheer power she just unleashed. Hunter Seo Hyojin realizes the potion's incredible effects. Not only did it restore her health, but it also eliminated ether consumption, allowing her to use her powerful sword rampage for 10 seconds, a feat previously limited to 3. Her gaze falls upon the empty, glowing potion bottle, a profound question forming in her mind. Could all this newfound strength truly be attributed to that single elixir? Thought shifts to the mysterious shop and its owner, Jiha, who smiles innocently amidst his glowing alchemy setup, leaving Hunter Seo Hyojin wondering about the true nature of his establishment. The bustling cityscape stands under a clear sky, the ordinary exterior of Jiha's shop belying the extraordinary power it holds within. Gentle chime of a bell announces Hunter Seo Hyojin's return, signaling her entry into the enigmatic store once more. Hunter Seo Hyojin strides purposefully into the shop, her presence immediately drawing the attention of Jiha and the other customer. Pointing an accusatory finger, Hunter Seo Hyojin confronts Jiha with an intense glare, while Jiha nervously offers a welcome, internally noting her perpetually angry demeanor. Hunter Seo Hyojin grabs Jiha by his collar, her eyes blazing as she demands to know the true nature of the potion he sold her. Other customers in the shop recognize Hunter Seo Hyojin, whispering in awe about her recent feat of single-handedly defeating a swarm of manstalkers, causing her a moment of quiet surprise. Embarrassed by the attention, Hunter Seo Hyojin quickly apologizes for her rudeness, as Jiha calmly assures her he's fine, then inquires if there was an issue with his potion. Jiha confirms there was indeed a problem, explaining that he had never encountered a potion capable of healing 14% of HP without consuming any ether. He praises her, highlighting her incredible achievement of single-handedly eliminating the aversion monster, declaring it truly amazing. Jiha reveals his secret ingredient, holding up a shimmering golden apple, while Hunter Seo Hyojin stares in utter confusion, questioning what it could be. Jiha proudly identifies it as a solar apple, claiming he fortunately discovered it in a Tier 0 dungeon, a revelation that shocks Hunter Seo Hyojin, who repeats the improbable claim in disbelief. Hunter Seo Hyojin muses if solar apples are common, while Jiha, avoiding her gaze, internally decides to fabricate an excuse rather than reveal the true, potentially dangerous, source of the ingredient. Jiha offers a warm smile, expressing his happiness that his potion proved beneficial to her as Hunter Seo Hyunjin shyly glances away. Hunter Seo Hyunjin points to a new, glowing blue potion, asking about its nature, to which Jiha readily identifies it as an ice resistance potion. Picking up a smaller version of the potion, Hunter Seo Hyunjin inspects it, her curiosity piqued as she asks about its specific effects. Jiha calmly states that the potion grants 32% ice resistance for a duration of 40 minutes, a revelation that leaves Hunter Seo Hyunjin utterly flabbergasted. Narration highlights the stark difference. The best market potions offer merely 10% resistance for 15 minutes, making Jiha's potion, with its 32% resistance lasting 40 minutes, an unprecedented marvel. Hunter Seo Hyunjin's voice rises in a frantic demand, desperate to know the source of such an extraordinary item, while Jiha once again stumbles for words, clearly uncomfortable. The scene shifts to Jiha, carefully gathering glowing blueberries in a mystical, shimmering forest, the true source of his potent ingredients. System notification appears, identifying the collected item as Winter Strawberry LV.1, providing 20% ice resistance for 30 minutes. Jiha meticulously collects the vibrant blueberries, carefully placing them into his basket, each one a component for his next powerful concoction. As Jiha skillfully brews a potion, surrounded by swirling blue energy, a system notification confirms his mastery, announcing that he has acquired the alchemy skill at level 2. The dark-haired swordsman, a customer, presents the potions, claiming she found them at a Tier 0 dungeon. However, Jiha, observing her closely, internally notes her poor attempt at deception, sensing her discomfort. Sensing Jiha's skepticism, the dark-haired swordsman quickly changes her approach, declaring she won't press further but insists on buying all of the potions. Jiha reacts with a surprised, "Huh? All of them?" Without hesitation, the dark-haired swordsman slams down a thick stack of cash, stating she'll pay in full and doesn't require a receipt, clearly eager to complete the transaction swiftly. Jiha protests, telling the dark-haired swordsman, whom he calls Ms. Hyunjin, that the payment is far more than the potions are worth, recalling her generosity from their previous encounter. She simply counters that such a sum is still insufficient for potions of this caliber. Dark-haired swordsman then casually asks Jiha for his name. He responds, identifying himself as Jiha, his expression gentle. A subtle smile graces the dark-haired swordsman's lips as she repeats Jiha's name, complimenting it. With a final, warm smile and a wave, the dark-haired swordsman bids Jiha farewell, promising to return. Now amidst a lush, sun-dappled forest, Jiha exhales contentedly, remarking on the simplicity of his current task. Jiha surveys his collected resources, noting that the glowstone and kindlegem are sufficient, but realizes he needs to replenish his winter strawberries, remembering that the dark-haired swordsman had purchased them all. Sitting calmly, Jiha expresses surprise at finding such abundant resources like glowstone and kindlegem in this peaceful, monster-free forest. As leaves gently drift around him, Jiha gazes upwards, pondering the mysterious nature of his current location, asking himself, where is this place? His eyes widen in sudden alarm as he spots something unexpected, questioning what he's seeing. Jiha moves carefully through the undergrowth, confirming his suspicion that he'd heard something nearby. His expression shifts to one of utter astonishment as he finally lays eyes on the source of the disturbance. Before him stands a pterodrone, a mythic monster, described by the system as a small, car-sized beetle with formidable claws. Jiha, recognizing the creature, expresses his shock, knowing pterodrones are supposed to be mythic-grade monsters, yet something feels off. He observes a group of these pterodrones, noting their surprisingly small size, a stark contrast to their mythic classification. Jiha reaches out, confirming the presence of an invisible hexagonal barrier, realizing he cannot pass, and wondering why the creatures are moving with such urgency. His gaze then falls upon 3 menacing devil ants, identified by the system as hazard-grade, cargo truck-sized monsters known for summoning more of their kind when one is defeated. Jiha identifies the devil ants, then watches in astonishment as they engage in fierce combat with the smaller pterodrones. From above, Jiha observes the chaotic battle, recalling information he'd once read about devil ants. Jiha remembers that devil ants are hazard monsters, but their potent poison makes them even more perilous than other aversion-type creatures. Sense of unease washes over Jiha as he rereads the system description for devil ants, noting the discrepancy in their size and realizing the same applies to the pterodrones. A devil ant savagely attacks a pterodrone, eliciting a pained shriek from the smaller creature. The battle intensifies as multiple devil ants overwhelm the pterodrones, their cries echoing through the confined space. Jiha realizes the pterodrones are clearly losing the battle, prompting him to wonder about the underlying reason for this brutal conflict. Witnessing the Terradrone's impending defeat, Jiha's concern grows, and he questions if there's any way he can intervene to aid them. A system notification suddenly appears, declaring a war between Jiha and his Terradrones against the Devil Ants, offering him the choice to intervene. Jiha exclaims in disbelief, "I can intervene." Jiha finds it peculiar that the system refers to them as my Terradrone, but quickly decides to help them, his finger hovering over the yes option. System immediately presents Jiha with options to cast an area buff using his essence, offering to increase HP, poison resistance, or physical resistance by 30% for 1 hour, or activate Labor's Blessing. Jiha deliberates, recognizing his limitations in direct combat but affirming his ability to provide crucial support through his unique skills. He then recalls the glowing essence in his possession, confirming he has the resources required for the system's powerful area buffs. Confident smile spreads across Jiha's face as he holds out a single essence, deciding that Laborer's Blessing is the optimal choice among the available buffs. With the skill activated, Laborer's Blessing takes effect, summoning 3 small, determined beetle-like creatures that emerge amidst a shower of golden light. The newly summoned beetle minions spring into action, swiftly engaging and eliminating the smaller, dark monsters with surprising agility. Jiha watches in awe, a broad grin on his face as he exclaims his amazement at how quickly and completely his summoned creatures dispatched the entire swarm of monsters. Jiha's internal monologue expresses disbelief at the efficiency of his Laborer's Blessing, watching his victorious beetle minions stand proudly amidst the sparkling remnants of their foes. Jiha beams down at his diligent minions, extending his gratitude for their swift and effective protection of the forest from the encroaching threats. As Jiha commends his little helpers, his expression shifts to surprise, catching sight of something unexpected from the diligent creatures. Jiha questions the unexpected bounty, as his beetle minions present him with an impressive haul of glowing essence and essence stones, seemingly offering them as tribute. A subtle, pleased grin plays on Jiha's lips, a silent acknowledgement of the unexpected rewards from his loyal, hard-working minions. One of the beetle minions tilts its head in confusion as Jiha begins to express his thanks, yet hesitates, but hanging in the air. System confirms Jiha's acquisition of 5 essences and 5 essence stones, as he graciously accepts the gifts, acknowledging the creature's valiant efforts and stating that this reward is sufficient. The magical barrier around the forest begins to shimmer and fade, revealing the true expanse of the woods as the protective energy dissipates. Jiha stands in stunned realization, observing the forest where the shimmering magical wall once stood, now completely vanished. He notes the absence of the dense fog that typically shrouded the area, leaving the forest clear and open before him. Jiha sighs softly, realizing his short visit to the forest has unexpectedly extended, as he holds the remaining essence, contemplating his changed plans. With a resigned smile, Jiha accepts his prolonged stay, realizing his temporary presence has become a more permanent commitment. A new narrative thread unfolds, introducing the Hunter Net, a prominent online community currently abuzz with discussions surrounding the formidable Hunter Rank 12 Sword Witch Co Hyunjin, whose silhouette is seen amidst a futuristic, glowing network. In a dimly lit room, Co Hyunjin sits before a glowing computer screen, her fingers flying across the keyboard as she monitors the Hunter Net discussions, where users debate her solo feat against the Manstalker, with some questioning the true extent of her capabilities. Online debate intensifies, focusing on the number of hunters in the dungeon and Co Hyunjin's history as a solo player since the disappearance of someone named Sunghyuk, with some users wishing she would move on from his memory. Co Hyunjin's fingers hammer down on the keyboard, her frustration evident as she internally scoffs at the insensitive comments, recognizing their detachment from her personal struggles. A poignant silence settles as the conversation reveals the painful truth. Her significant other vanished in a dungeon 3 years prior, a loss that still weighs heavily on Co Hyunjin, reflected in her somber expression. Online debate highlights Co Hyunjin's relentless 3-year search for her missing partner, a shadowy figure in armor, before one user abruptly attempts to shut down the discussion, implying only Co Hyunjin herself could truly understand her pain. Co Hyunjin's anger flares, her face contorted in a furious expression as she slams her hand on the keyboard, believing the online user has crossed an unforgivable line with their comments. Co Hyunjin's furious typing is interrupted as she looks up, startled, to find someone has entered her dark office and is questioning her intense, almost zombie-like focus. Choi Chu-hyun, identified as the top alchemist of the Eternal Flame Guild, stands by the now illuminated doorway, advising Co Hyunjin that working in such dim conditions is detrimental to her eyesight. Co Hyunjin stretches, clearly annoyed by the interruption, stating her preference for working in the dark for better concentration, and immediately presses Choi Choo-hyun about the task she had assigned him. Choi Choo-hyun adjusts his glasses, confirming to Co Hyunjin that he personally undertook the investigation she requested, implying a thorough and direct approach. Choi Choo-hyun reports his findings on Jiha, dismissing him as a low-rank hunter lacking any remarkable traits, a conclusion he reached after personally observing him in his shop. The red-haired female customer muses on the report, acknowledging that Jiha might not be directly responsible for Hyunjin's increased strength, yet she highlights his peculiar trade of selling something special. Man in the suit, continuing his report, asks his superior if she is familiar with an item known as a solar apple. His gaze sharpens, indicating the gravity of his next revelation. The red-haired female customer questions the name solar apple as a brilliant golden fruit appears, shimmering with energy. The man in the suit confirms its existence, explaining it's a rare item that drastically reduces ether usage, something he had never witnessed in person until recently. The man in the suit reveals that Jiha brewed potions from the solar apple and sold them at an incredibly low price. The red-haired female customer reacts with disbelief, knowing such a powerful item couldn't possibly be that cheap. Standing by the desk, the man in the suit presents two possibilities. The first, he deduces, is that Jiha simply doesn't comprehend the immense value of the solar apple. He pauses, a serious expression on his face, before considering the alternative. What if Jiha's ignorance isn't the reason? A knowing smirk plays on the red-haired female customer's lips as she finishes his thought, concluding that Jiha must be a person utterly devoid of greed. With a decisive movement, the red-haired female customer rises, declaring her intention to visit Jiha herself, citing a need for fresh air. The man in the suit immediately offers to prepare her car. Red-haired female customer dismisses the idea, stating she's not a CEO and such an entourage is excessive. The man in the suit, however, insists that while not a CEO, her position holds similar weight. A confident smile graces the red-haired female customer's face, her eyes sparkling with determination for her upcoming visit. Meanwhile, deep within a vibrant, verdant forest, Jiha sits calmly by a small, crackling campfire, a tranquil scene unfolding from above. Jiha remarks on the noticeable chill deeper within the forest, expressing gratitude for remembering to bring a lighter to start his fire. A system notification appears, confirming that the mysterious wall and fog, which previously sealed off the inner forest, have now completely dissipated. Jiha, holding a sack, surveys his surroundings but observes no significant changes despite the barrier's removal. He thinks to himself, a hint of concern in his eyes, acknowledging the obvious implications. Jiha continues his internal monologue, admitting he hadn't fully explored the area, as dark, ominous energy swirls menacingly behind him. Deciding against further exploration, Jiha asserts his desire to avoid danger and concludes it's time to head back. Suddenly, Jiha turns, startled by the appearance of small, beetle-like creatures, recognizing them from a previous encounter. Jiha identifies the creatures as the pterodrones he encountered previously, noting their familiar appearance. Jiha crouches down, observing the pterodrones offering him mist-chasing flower seeds, a system box confirming their identity. He deduces their purpose is to dispel fog and wonders if they are meant for him. Noticing a larger pterodrone among them, Jiha points out its unique appearance and greater size, questioning if it's their leader. Sudden realization dawns on Jiha as he looks towards the ominous, dark forest behind them, asking if the pterodrones originated from that very place. His eyes widen in surprise as the pieces click into place, a sudden understanding washing over him. A system prompt appears, revealing the pterodrones' plea. They are requesting Jiha to rescue their queen. Jiha repeats the astonishing request, processing the implications. Jiha ponders, realizing that these creatures must have a queen, much like ants or bees. He then connects the mist-chasing flower seeds to their desperate plea for help. Despite his apprehension, Jiha agrees to the pterodrones' request, acknowledging their role in protecting the forest and vowing to do what he can to help. Jiha, however, clarifies that he needs time to prepare, postponing the rescue mission until the next day. The scene then shifts to the next day, showing Jiha meticulously preparing a healing potion. His preparations continue as he carefully pours a vibrant green poison resistance potion, ensuring he's ready for any challenge. Next, Jiha adds combat rations to his supplies, pouring small pellets into a bowl, leaving no stone unturned in his preparations. As the pterodrones eagerly consume the prepared rations, Jiha mentally confirms his basic preparations are complete. He confidently plans to apply an area buff, believing it will make dealing with the devil ants an easy task. Jiha rallies his Terradrones, confidently declaring their mission to rescue the queen. Green energy surges around them, ready for the impending battle. Jiha arrives at the location, observing the dense forest around him. He confirms his suspicions, realizing the area is exactly as he anticipated. For him looms the ominous devil ant hive, a colossal structure pulsating with dark, malevolent energy. Jiha's eyes widen slightly as he takes in the imposing structure, realizing this is the terrifying home of the devil ants. Staring up at the massive hive, Jiha mentally notes its immense scale, estimating it to be at least 3 meters tall. Vast army of devil ants emerges from the hive, their glowing red eyes fixed on the advancing Terradrones, preparing for a brutal clash. The devil ants snarl aggressively, their forms wreathed in dark, sinister energy as they surge forward. With a powerful surge of light, the Terradrones meet their foes head-on, as a system notification confirms the commencement of the war between the Terradrones and the devil ants. Battlefield erupts into a chaotic maelstrom of blows and counterattacks as Terradrones and devil ants collide in a desperate struggle for dominance. Jiha observes the intense battle, noting with surprise that his Terradrones are performing significantly better than in previous encounters. Despite their improved performance, Jiha recognizes the inherent danger of the situation, realizing his Terradrones are still at risk. A system prompt appears, informing Jiha that he has a one-time opportunity to directly assist his forces with his own power. System specifies the unique assistance available to bring down winged devil ants with a powerful slap costing 3 essence. Jiha stares at the mysterious system prompt, questioning how he is meant to provide assistance with a single, limited use of power. Jiha's eyes widen in utter disbelief as he processes the peculiar instruction. He rereads the instruction, a single word echoing in his mind. Slap? Jiha expresses his exasperation, questioning the utility of a single slap in such a critical situation and wondering how he could possibly make it count. Jiha glances over his shoulder, his attention drawn to a specific devil ant in the distance, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. The target is revealed, a winged devil ant, identified by the system as a critical messenger for the enemy forces. New system alert flashes, revealing the devil ant army's attempt to send a message and call for reinforcements. Jiha exclaims in shock at the discovery of a messenger. A sudden realization dawns on Jiha. His peculiar slap ability can be used to prevent the messenger ant from delivering its critical message. With a determined expression, Jiha raises his hand, green energy swirling around it, ready to unleash his unique attack, accepting the absurdity of the situation. The winged devil ant takes flight, soaring through the air, completely unaware of the impending strike. Jiha's hand descends with surprising force, creating a powerful impact on the ground as the messenger ant is knocked out of the sky. Jiha remains in a low crouch, the dust settling around him as the aftermath of his powerful slap becomes clear. A triumphant smile spreads across Jiha's face as he confidently declares his success. The scene shifts, revealing a bright, clear day over a bustling urban landscape far from the forest battlefield. The red-haired female customer stands before a building, questioning if this is the general store rumored to sell the elusive solar apple. From the outside, the store appears unassuming, yet the red-haired female customer suspects hidden secrets, recalling a past incident where someone caught a main stalker after visiting this very location. A mischievous smile plays on the red-haired female customer's lips as she prepares to enter, hinting at her intentions. Her hand firmly grasps the door handle, a determined resolve echoing in her mind. Uncover that secret. Her mischievous smile falters as the door remains steadfastly shut. It's locked, she questions, a hint of surprise in her voice. Her gaze shifts to the open sign, a furrow in her brow. Strange. The sign here says that it's open though? She ponders, wondering if they simply stepped away to the restroom. Spotting a gray-haired male merchant sweeping below, the red-haired female customer calls out, "Excuse me, I'd like to ask something. Are they open today?" He pauses, a questioning escaping his lips. Gray-haired male merchant scratches his head. "I'm not sure. I don't think they've been open since yesterday. That young man, I don't know if something's up, but he's not open that often these days." The gray-haired male merchant continues to grumble about young people these days lacking a professional mindset. The red-haired female customer's eyes widen. "They're often closed?" she thinks, recalling she heard they were definitely closed on weekends. A thoughtful expression crosses the red-haired female customer's face as she looks back at the shop sign, which now seems to shimmer. As expected, this is a normal store. No, that guy called Jiha, she muses. Jiha's eyes are wide, a bead of sweat tracing his temple as he utters, "This much." He observes the massive, fallen ant monster. Its formidable form now still. Should be enough, right? Jiha wonders, assessing the outcome of the fierce struggle. From the dark depths, a terrifying rumbling begins as a new horde of ant monsters emerges, their eyes glowing with malevolent intent. With a determined cry, 3 Pterodrone warriors appear, their forms glowing as they prepare to engage the encroaching enemy. The battlefield erupts in a cacophony of buzzing wings and fierce roars as the Pterodrones plunge into the ant horde, a whirlwind of combat. Jiha lets out a heavy sigh, his face etched with exhaustion and relief after the grueling fight. Slumped on the ground amidst several small, beetle-like creatures, Jiha breathes a sigh of relief. I somehow finished it safely, he murmurs, then his thoughts turn to the greater threat. But is their queen still inside the ant nest? Jiha hums, a new thought sparking in his mind as he considers the situation. Jiha watches in surprise as the Pterodrones emerge from the cave, carrying their injured queen on a makeshift stretcher. They rescued her, he exclaims, then wonders where did they get that stretcher. The Pterodrone queen is heavily injured, her body covered in cracks and bandages, a testament to the brutal battle she endured. The injured Pterodrone queen shivers on the stretcher, her small warriors fidgeting around her with palpable concern. Jiha's hand reaches out gently towards one of the smaller Pterodrones. It's fine. You don't have to overwork yourself, he reassures it. Crouching down, Jiha softly pats the Pterodrone's head, a genuine smile gracing his lips. It's a relief that you're fine, he says. A system notification materializes before Jiha. The Pterodrone Queen wishes to pledge allegiance to you. If you sign a contract with the Pterodrone Corps, you will become a sponsor. Of course, you will have to grant their requests too. Jiha thinks there's no need to think about it. It's not difficult either. We can help each other out. New system message confirms. The Pterodrone Queen and its Corps have pledged their allegiance to you. Now you will be able to sponsor the Corps more directly. Jiha looks up, his eyes wide as a Pterodrone, now radiating light, floats gracefully. That's the Pterodrone general from that time, he exclaims in awe. Pterodrone glows brightly, its form transforming as a system notification confirms. Evolution completed. Jiha's face lights up with a radiant smile, his voice filled with joyous disbelief. It evolved. The now formidable Pterodrone warrior floats above, its presence commanding. Jiha gazes up, impressed. It certainly looks like a general now. Newly evolved Pterodrone warrior suddenly swivels its head, a sharp huh escaping Jiha's lips as he notices its abrupt movement. Jiha sighs, watching the Pterodrone warrior observe a procession of smaller Pterodrones carrying massive amounts of glowing resources. They're bringing a lot of it again. I told them I didn't need that much, he mutters. Sitting cross-legged, Jiha pinches the bridge of his nose. I'd be satisfied with 10 essence and a bit of ether stone, he thinks, clearly overwhelmed by the abundance. The piles of resources shimmering behind him, Jiha's expression shifts to one of deep contemplation. By the way, he begins. Jiha holds 2 distinct seeds in his palm, one a familiar wild grape seed, the other a mysterious tree fruit seed. He ponders the nature of this unknown seed, wondering, what in the world is a tree fruit seed? He decides to simply plant it, trusting the forest to reveal its secrets. Well, I'll find out once I grow it, he muses, confident that the forest will take care of the rest. A satisfied smile spreads across Jiha's face as he considers his next project. Should we build a cabin next? The scene abruptly shifts to a menacing, swirling purple vortex, crackling with dark energy within a desolate dungeon. The narrator states, the next day, in a certain dungeon. Voice questions from off-screen, you're sure the Queen Ant is here, right, Hyunjin? Another replies, then, would I be crazy enough to enter the Devil Ant dungeon? An armored leader confidently asserts, we'll be able to earn a lot of money if we properly rob the ant nest. But his expression quickly shifts as he notices something amiss, asking, what is this? Another member of the party, looking concerned, informs the leader, Hyunjin, the quest has been cleared already. The leader's eyes widen in disbelief. What? The dungeon just opened, what are you talking about? Entire group stares in stunned silence at the unexpected revelation. The leader clenches his jaw, muttering, damn it. They gaze into the vast, empty cavern, a sense of dread washing over them. It's empty? A voice whispers in disbelief. The leader speculates, could it be that it was cleared in a different region? He quickly dismisses the idea, reminding himself, but a cleared dungeon won't open for a second time. Frustration boiling over, he declares, damn it, I can't believe this. I'll have to check it out for myself. One of the party members inspects the cavern wall, confirming, I don't know who it was, but it seems like there was indeed an attack. He adds, I don't see any live ants. The leader, growing impatient, barks, stop the nonsense and just find the traces of the ants. Is it possible that all of them are gone? Suddenly, another man cries out in alarm, Hyunjin, the ground. The leader turns, his expression a mix of confusion and dawning apprehension, questioning the ground? An impossible sight greets them, a colossal, five-fingered imprint pressed deep into the earth, dwarfing the entire party standing upon it. Stunned, the leader stammers, it's a palm, right? Don't tell me, is this the palm of a giant? His face contorts in terror as he realizes the implications. Even if it's just another monster, this must be at the destruction level, right? Panicked, the leader screams, everyone retreat. One of his subordinates calls out to him, Hyunjin. His face contorted in a desperate plea, he shouts, do you think we can fight and win against the monster that annihilated the devil ants? If we are not careful, we too will be killed without even being able to do anything. Makes the only logical decision. First, let's retreat and contact the association. A chorus of "you understood" echoes back as the party scrambles to escape. A laptop screen displays the eerie image of the colossal handprint, while an unseen observer muses, Kim Hyung-suk, seated at his desk, inquires, so this was discovered at the devil ant nest? The standing man confirms, yes, they said that it was already cleared. Kim Hyung-suk, identified as the Goryeo Group's successor, instructs his subordinate, alright, report if anything else comes up. The subordinate promptly responds, understood. Kim Hyung-suk's thoughts turn grim as he contemplates the image, realizing this palm is not an ordinary monster, and it's too big to be a new species either. He considers the terrifying possibility. Then, it means that it's a mythic-grade monster I don't recognize. The chaotic imagery of a devastating monster attack flashes through his mind as he questions, did a monster above the destruction grade appear again? Kim Hyung-suk stands, a deep frown on his face, observing strange things keep happening. He gazes out the window, his expression somber as he reflects on that terrible thing. Kim Hyung-suk's resolve hardens. Must not happen again. The scene then cuts to Jiha, smiling warmly as the red-haired female customer thanks him, saying, thank you, mister. The view expands to reveal Seoul, Area Number 5, a bustling urban landscape of towering buildings and manicured parks. Jiha stands patiently outside a sleek modern building, a small bag in hand, seemingly waiting for an elevator. Jiha's eyes widen in surprise as an unseen voice calls out his name, Jiha. Jiha, with a bright smile, waves and asks if he kept the other person waiting. In a close-up, he apologizes, suggesting they should have just gone inside without waiting for him. Man Jiha is meeting reassures him, telling him there's no need to rush and cautioning him against tripping. Just as the man predicted, Jiha lets out a yelp as he stumbles and falls to the ground, his book scattering nearby. The man sighs, remarking that he knew this would happen. The man immediately offers a hand to Jiha, asking if he's alright. Jiha, however, is more concerned about his book, reassuring the man that it's safe. The man, exasperated, clarifies that wasn't his concern. The narrator reveals that this shared passion for books, even Jiha's insane bookworm tendencies, is how the two became close friends. Jiha beams, reflecting on their bond. The man then asks Jiha if he had breakfast, explaining that Jumi sis asked him to deliver a meal. Jiha, touched, asks if he waited specifically to give him this, thanking him enthusiastically for the delicious-smelling food. Man then remembers something else, telling Jiha to take the ornate book he's holding. Jiha looks at it curiously, a questioning hum escaping him. The man explains that the gray-haired male merchant seemed sad because customers were constantly returning the book, having bought it only for decoration. The gray-haired male merchant, visible in the background, laments another refund. Jiha, surprised, asks if the man bought one despite this. The man smiles, confirming he bought the book because he thought it would complement Jiha's store interior. Jiha, however, finds the idea of a continuously refunded book a bit unsettling. Jiha's eyes narrow in confusion as the book in his hands suddenly begins to glow with an ethereal green light. He murmurs a questioning HM. A system notification rings out, declaring the acquisition of an infinite spellbook. Another message immediately follows, detailing the requirements to write a spell, a Thunderbird's feather and various inks. Jiha's mind races, questioning the very concept of an infinite spellbook. Jiha, still holding the now glowing book, turns to the man and asks if he's truly certain it's just a decoration. The man, shrugging, admits he isn't sure, explaining that the book was blank and he couldn't write anything in it himself. Man concludes that his inability to write in it must be why the manager labeled it a decorative item. Jiha, however, connects the dots, realizing his inability to write in it is directly linked to the system message he just received. Jiha realizes the man didn't receive the system message, making him unique in this discovery. The man, misinterpreting Jiha's silence, apologizes, fearing Jiha doesn't like the gift. Jiha, with a wide, genuine smile, assures the man that he likes the book very much, dispelling his worries. Holding the infinite spellbook, Jiha declares with a confident smile that he will put it to wise use. Jiha attempts to write in the spellbook, but to his frustration, the pen glides across the blank page without leaving a mark. He realizes he truly can't write anything in it. Back in his shop, Jiha ponders the system's requirements, recalling that he needs a Thunderbird's feather and various inks. He believes he can find information about the Thunderbird, but the actual acquisition remains a daunting task. A system window appears, detailing the formidable Thunderbird, a colossal avian creature with a wingspan of approximately 25 meters, incredibly rare and found only in desolate terrains, excluding polar oceans. Jiha lets out a stunned ha as the sheer scale of the Thunderbird dawns on him. He questions incredulously if he's truly expected to hunt a creature with a 25-meter wingspan just for a feather. Jiha slumps over his counter, sighing in defeat. He laments the impossibility of hunting such a rare and massive creature, concluding that the infinite spellbook will likely remain just a decoration. As Jiha's hand rests on the blank page, a new system notification appears. Acquired trait, nice handwriting LV.1. Jiha looks up in surprise as another system notification flashes, declaring the acquisition of ancient magic LV.1. He questions why he's suddenly gaining new traits and skills at this moment. Jiha examines his hand, but despite the new acquisitions, he feels no discernible change or power flowing through him. He muses that acquiring such a trait at this precise moment cannot be a mere coincidence, sensing a deeper connection. Driven by a hunch, Jiha picks up his pen again, poised to write on the blank page of the spellbook. As Jiha writes, the words flow effortlessly onto the page, detailing information about the Thunderbird and strategies for its capture. A system notification confirms nice handwriting LV.2, making Jiha realize the trait can level up. Reflecting on his new trait, Jiha explains that he experimented with it, discovering two crucial things about its functionality. The first realization is frustrating. Even with the nice handwriting trait, he still cannot write directly onto the infinite spellbook itself. Second discovery is that his handwriting becomes incredibly elegant and precise when using the trait, as demonstrated by a beautifully penned description of the Thunderbird and potential strategies. Jiha reflects on his newfound ability, marveling at how his handwriting, once terrible, now becomes incredibly elegant and precise when using the trait. He thinks this is an amazing trait in a way. Suddenly, a strange energy pulsates around Jiha, his expression shifting to one of deep concern as the air crackles with an unknown force. Jiha's eyes widen, a bead of sweat tracing his temple as he questions the sudden, unsettling phenomenon, asking, "What was that?" Turning towards the source, Jiha feels a familiar, ominous energy building, making him wonder, could it be? His fears are confirmed as a monstrous purple gate rips open, crackling with raw energy, right inside his shop. Jiha stares in disbelief, realizing, a gate is opening here? A system window materializes, detailing the mission, difficulty, category rank O, type, grassland, valley, target, Thunderbird's feather, time limit, 1 hour, and a curious target restriction, laborer. Jiha's jaw drops, utterly stunned that the mission leads directly to the Thunderbird's domain. He asks himself, no way, straight to the Thunderbird's place. Did the nice handwriting affect something? Despite the dangerous aura emanating from the gate, Jiha rationalizes the aura seems dangerous, but it's rank O, so it should be fine. Let's just go in and out. Stepping through the gate, Jiha finds himself transported to a breathtaking forest, a shimmering waterfall cascading in the distance. He mutters, I'm in. Surveying the tranquil landscape, Jiha questions if this peaceful place could truly be the habitat of a Thunderbird, noting, this doesn't seem like the right place for a giant bird. A sudden, powerful flapping sound makes Jiha's head snap around, his eyes wide with alarm. From the sky descends a colossal Thunderbird, its red eyes blazing and dark feathers crackling with purple energy. Jiha screams, Take Thunderbird. Jiha is nearly swept off his feet by the immense gusts from the Thunderbird's wings, utterly bewildered by its monstrous size. He exclaims, how is a bird so big? That's the size of a building. Panic sets in as Jiha realizes the impossible task before him, shouting in despair, how am I supposed to hunt that? Just as despair threatens to overwhelm him, a single dark blue feather gently floats down, catching Jiha's bewildered attention. He murmurs, huh? The colossal Thunderbird, seemingly satisfied, sheds a shower of feathers as it ascends and flies away. Jiha, utterly dumbfounded, asks, it's leaving? Jiha bends down and picks up one of the fallen feathers. A system notification confirms it as a Thunderbird's feather. He can't help but exclaim, all I had to do was pick up a feather? Wow, it's this easy? With the Thunderbird's feather secured, Jiha realizes he now needs ink. A mischievous smile spreads across his face as a brilliant idea strikes him, thinking, I thought of something. Jiha summons a small, adorable beetle-like creature, which dutifully presents a vial of shimmering green liquid, identified by the system as green herb extract. Jiha beams, taking the vial from the creature. He praises its speed, saying, "You found it so fast. Good thing I asked you. Thank you, friend." With all the necessary components gathered, Jiha's eyes glint with determination. He thinks, okay, preparation is over. The final step remains. Laid out on a rock are the feather, the extract, and a grand, ancient tome. The narrator declares the last thing is solving the mystery of infinite spellbook. Jiha sits, holding the Thunderbird's feather as a quill, gazing at the ancient tome. He muses about the spells within the infinite spellbook and declares, "I'll discover it myself." Feather quill touches the ancient pages, a brilliant light erupting at the point of contact. As Jiha writes, he is enveloped in a cascade of glowing yellow runic symbols lifted by an unseen force. The powerful runic energy surges from Jiha, spiraling upwards and embedding itself into the trunk of a massive, ancient tree. Jiha stares up at the colossal tree, now shimmering with golden light, a testament to the magic he has just unleashed. Jiha's eyes are wide with awe and disbelief as he utters, "This is..." He recognizes the ancient script on the tree, exclaiming in shock, "Rune word." Voiceover explains that Jiha once encountered these symbols in an old book, revealing that a great tree taught an ancient tribe for powerful magic spells. The narrator hints at the nature of these spells, stating, "And those 4 spells were creation, harmony, change, and destruction." However, these powerful magic spells were originally incredibly difficult to control. To harness their immense power, an expedient method was discovered, the creation of rune words. Jiha ponders, realizing the world tree of the beginning taught ancient tribes these magic spells. He questions if rune words were created as a simplified way to wield this difficult ancient magic. Jiha admits he's never encountered rune words before, wondering if someone is currently attempting to use them. Suddenly, Jiha gasps in astonishment, his eyes wide. The very tree branch Jiha had planted earlier now glows intensely, covered in the same mysterious runic symbols. Jiha deduces that rune words manifest after fulfilling certain conditions for a spellbook, but questions why they are engraved directly onto the tree instead of appearing within the book itself. Realization dawns on Jiha. This is the same tree branch he planted upon first arriving in the dream forest. He starts to connect the pieces, a shocking possibility forming in his mind. Dismissing the thought of it being the actual world tree due to its size, Jiha decides to quickly transcribe the glowing rune words before they vanish, wondering if merely writing them down will suffice. As Jiha transcribes, he instinctively understands the rune word's meaning, even without prior knowledge. The word destruction flashes through his mind, indicating a power that will burn everything on fire. Jiha finishes writing, satisfied that he has recorded all the rune words. He mentally notes the brutal nature of the phrase he just transcribed. A system notification appears, Scroll of Change, Destruction, increases the destruction power of rune magic. Jiha realizes that by writing the rune words, he has inadvertently created a powerful scroll. Jiha contemplates the nature of scrolls, concluding he must tear the page from the book to activate it. The torn page instantly transforms into a finely rolled scroll, radiating a cool, magical aura, which Jiha admires. Jiha, eager to replicate his success, declares his intention to create 99 more scrolls, only to be cut off by a sudden realization and a confused huh? The previously torn page in the book miraculously restores itself, glowing with renewed energy. Jiha grins, realizing he can continuously write in the book. As long as he has enough ink, he can produce scrolls without limit. Despite his newfound ability, Jiha admits he doesn't fully understand the scroll's effect beyond increases the destruction power of rune magic. He acknowledges his lack of magical proficiency prevents him from testing it. Jiha confirms his identity. The red-haired female customer exhales, expressing her relief that they have finally met. The red-haired female customer's gloved hand slams onto the counter, emphasizing her frustration. With a furious expression, the red-haired female customer confronts Jiha about his elusive nature, demanding to know how many attempts it took for her to finally meet him. Jiha internally notes the presence of someone like Hyunjin SSI. Jiha apologetically explains that the shop is often empty due to his personal circumstances. The red-haired female customer, still looking away, confirms to herself, this man is Hunter Yu Jiha. Red-haired female customer observes Jiha, concluding he doesn't appear special, just as Chulian SSI had described. Jiha, unnerved, internally wonders why she's staring at him so intensely, questioning if she's angry. The red-haired female customer then states that her visit isn't about Jiha himself. She clarifies that her interest lies in the items Jiha sells. Jiha looks surprised by this revelation. Clearing her throat, the red-haired female customer dismisses her previous outburst, acknowledging Jiha must have had his reasons for being unavailable. She then pulls a card from a pouch. She formally apologizes for the late introduction, revealing herself as Cha Weian, the leader of the Eternal Flame Guild, as she presents her card. Jiha, holding the card, listens as Cha Weian states she heard he sells special items in his general store. He hesitantly confirms it. Cha Weian leans in, specifying her interest. For example, "You're talking about the solar apple potions, aren't you?" Jiha, still trying to guess her request, asks if she's looking for the winter strawberry potion. The red-haired female customer confirms her interest, but then Jiha internally notes that these are the most popular items. Jiha then gestures for her to wait, explaining that since she's visited multiple times without success, he wants to give her something for free. The red-haired female customer is shocked, wondering if it was always this easy. Jiha, looking flustered with a sweat drop, addresses the red-haired female customer. Jiha apologizes profusely, revealing that they are completely out of stock. The red-haired female customer responds with a bewildered pardon. Jiha internally chastises himself, realizing he became complacent and neglected his main job, distracted by recent events like the Terra drones and the infinite spellbook. Jiha's internal monologue continues, questioning his own competence as a store owner, as he's never run out of stock before. He then sincerely promises the red-haired female customer that if she returns tomorrow, he will have all the items she desires ready. Jiha offers another apology to the red-haired female customer. She, seeing his regretful demeanor, finds herself unable to retort, wondering if he is genuinely kind or simply naive. With a sigh, the red-haired female customer concedes, acknowledging she has no choice but to accept his explanation of being out of stock. The red-haired female customer agrees to return tomorrow, though she secretly laments missing the chance to test the items in a dungeon today. Just as she's about to exit, Jiha suddenly exclaims, remembering something. Jiha asks the red-haired female customer if she is a flame magician, recalling her earlier mention of being the guild leader of Eternal Flame. With a triumphant exclamation, Jiha presents her with a rolled-up scroll tied with a red ribbon, urging her to take it. The red-haired female customer questions if it's a scroll, and Jiha explains that it's a flame attribute scroll he crafted as a sample yesterday. He insists she take it, feeling it would be wrong to let her leave empty-handed. The red-haired female customer, now smiling, accepts the scroll, stating she won't refuse such a generous gift as flames begin to emanate behind her. As the red-haired female customer activates the scroll, a system message declares, "Thy flame will set everything on fire." She grins, appreciating the powerful phrase. The scene shifts to a dense forest, revealing a spider dungeon. A system message announces the defeat of the sentinel spider, urging the party to advance cautiously while maintaining their formation. A monstrous spider lets out a shriek as it's engulfed by a devastating burst of fire, the impact echoing through the dungeon. The red-haired female customer, mid-battle, notices something peculiar. Her power feels significantly stronger than usual. She questions if it's just her imagination, but even her runestone staff appears to be overflowing with uncontrolled power. A sudden warning echoes through the dungeon. "Guild leader, watch out!" Reacting instantly, the red-haired female customer blocks a torrent of purple magic with her staff, the impact creating a violent splash of energy. She kneels, seemingly exhausted. An armored adventurer rushes to her side, asking if she's all right. The red-haired female customer observes countless glowing red markers in the darkness, realizing there are far more enemies than reported. She wonders if her perception is truly accurate. The armored adventurer apologizes, citing the unpredictable nature of forest dungeons, and suggests a tactical retreat to regroup. However, the red-haired female customer defiantly refuses, declaring she will push forward regardless. The armored adventurer warns her against overexertion, but the red-haired female customer, her eyes burning with fiery resolve, assures him not to worry. Fully enveloped in a blazing aura and a swirling magical circle, the red-haired female customer confidently declares that in her current state she feels capable of anything. Red-haired female customer, fully enveloped in a blazing aura and a swirling magical circle, is surrounded by her awestruck subordinates. They exclaim in amazement, questioning how much she leveled up her skill, convinced she could sweep away an entire dungeon. Even she is astonished by the immense power coursing through her. A bead of sweat traces down the red-haired female customer's face as a dawning realization washes over her. She mutters to herself, a hint of disbelief in her expression, wondering if her sudden surge in power means something more profound. Back in his shop, Jiha carefully places a glowing yellow potion into a wooden crate, his gloved hand moving with practiced efficiency amidst shelves filled with various bottles. Jiha wipes his brow, a soft sigh escaping him as he muses aloud if he has prepared enough, looking slightly tired but content with his work. He confirms his preparations, having meticulously crafted both solar apple potions, glowing yellow, and winter strawberry potions, shimmering blue, neatly arranged in their respective crates. Jiha glances at the clock, noting that all that remains is to pack the potions before WNSSI, the red-haired female customer, arrives. He anticipates her early morning visit and plans to finish the task quickly. Suddenly, the shop bell jingles with a cheerful talang sound, announcing an unexpected arrival. Jiha turns, a surprised but welcoming expression on his face as he greets WNSSI, mentioning he was just packing the potions she requested yesterday. The red-haired female customer, accompanied by another man, observes Jiha with a serious look. Jiha wonders if the man is a guild member as she formally addresses him as Hunter Jiha, her tone indicating a shift in formality. Red-haired female customer dismisses the topic of potions, requesting a private conversation with Jiha, who looks on with a hint of confusion at her abrupt change of subject. A briefcase, gleaming with an almost divine light, lies open to reveal stacks of money, causing Jiha to utter a stunda at the sight of the unexpected fortune. From an overhead perspective, Jiha, the red-haired female customer, and her companion are seated around a table, the briefcase between them. Jiha, still bewildered, asks what it is, to which the red-haired female customer plainly states it's money. Red-haired female customer probes if Jiha is indifferent to money, suspecting a hidden reason for his cheap potions. Jiha, flustered and waving his hands, quickly denies it, explaining his shock comes from the sudden, large sum of money rather than a dislike for it. The red-haired female customer reveals the scroll Jiha provided had tremendous, even S-grade, effects, far exceeding her expectations and proving its immense value. With a slight smile, the red-haired female customer admits that receiving such a cheat-grade scroll for free simply doesn't sit right with her conscience, implying a need to compensate him. Jiha nods, a slight sweat drop forming as he understands, confirming his internal thought that the infinite spellbook was indeed an excellent item, just as he suspected. Crossing her arms, the red-haired female customer confidently offers to wire the payment to his account if cash is uncomfortable, insisting he tell her his preferred method of compensation. Jiha expresses gratitude but firmly states he has no right to accept the money, leaving the red-haired female customer utterly baffled and asking what in disbelief. Jiha explains that the scroll was merely an apology for the wait, asserting he's not honorable enough to accept such a large sum. He reflects internally that he simply gave it to her to test an unproven item, not as a transaction. Red-haired female customer's companion steps forward, addressing Jiha directly and warning him that a good person can quickly become foolish. Jiha reacts with a startled exclamation, recognizing the companion's authority. The companion illustrates his point with a powerful metaphor, a goose laying golden eggs freely offered to a crowd of reaching hands, posing the question of what would become of those who receive such unearned wealth. Jiha hesitantly suggests a world where everyone becomes rich, only for the companion's voice to sharply retort, "Of course not," immediately dispelling Jiha's naive assumption. Grim reality is depicted as the goose, once a source of boundless wealth, is violently torn apart by countless greedy hands, the companion explaining that such a secret would inevitably spread, making the source a target for all. Leaning forward intensely, the red-haired female customer explains that Jiha's amazing abilities are equally dangerous in the world of hunters, demanding if he understands. A wide-eyed Jiha quickly affirms his comprehension. The red-haired female customer pivots back to her main intention, stating she wishes to make an offer for Jiha's abilities, prompting a thoughtful offer from Jiha as he processes her words. The red-haired female customer fixes her gaze on Jiha, a confident smile playing on her lips as a powerful red magical circle pulses with energy behind her, underscoring her declaration of his name. Jiha, slightly taken aback by the sudden shift, listens as the red-haired female customer explains her earlier harsh words stemmed from worry and her desire to convey that her guild is conscientious and would never exploit his talents. Sparkling briefcase of cash reappears, the red-haired female customer clarifying that she brought it herself to demonstrate her guild's capability to appropriately reward his extraordinary abilities, proving their commitment. Jiha, looking slightly overwhelmed against the backdrop of towering city buildings, acknowledges that Eternal Flame is already known as a large guild with good welfare, adding that she didn't need to go to such lengths to prove herself. Red-haired female customer smiles confidently, explaining her desire to clearly show him that such a renowned and reputable guild holds him in very high regard, solidifying their favorable stance. The red-haired female customer further elaborates on the prestigious Eternal Flame Guild, detailing its numerous magicians and skilled alchemists. She then gestures to Jiha, proudly declaring him their chief alchemist, while Jiha internally expresses his deep admiration for the guild. She continues to paint an enticing picture, highlighting the guild's impressive facilities and numerous other skilled alchemists, promising Jiha ample opportunities for collaborative research. Red-haired female customer smiles, assuring Jiha that his salary and allowances would be tailored to his wishes, and he would have the authority to hold a position of chief or higher. Jiha, overwhelmed, manages a hesitant, that's... Jiha closes his eyes, a soft, content smile gracing his lips as he takes in the incredibly generous offer. Despite the lavish proposal, Jiha calmly states that he will only accept the gesture. The red-haired female customer, already ecstatic, excitedly orders someone to prepare the contract. Her joy instantly turns to shock as she processes Jiha's words, her eyes widening in disbelief as she questions if he truly intends to accept only the gesture. The red-haired female customer exclaims in frustration, asking why he would refuse such generous terms. Jiha, however, calmly reiterates that the offer is simply too much for him. Jiha thoughtfully explains that it would be better for someone more capable than him to join the guild. The red-haired female customer's face contorts in visible frustration and anger, radiating a fierce aura. The red-haired female customer erupts in fiery frustration, passionately insisting that Jiha is more than capable and urging him to stop putting himself down. Jiha attempts to calm the enraged guild leader. Jiha calmly explains that he was originally the lowest-ranked hunter with no attributes whatsoever. The red-haired female customer looks on, a question mark hovering in her mind. He continues, revealing that his ability to create special items wasn't due to his own innate skills, but rather a stroke of luck. Jiha further clarifies that his success was thanks to fortunate circumstances and the help of an amazing friend, hinting at a deeper story behind his powers. Jiha expresses his concern that his abilities might disappear someday, which is why he lacks the confidence to pursue grand endeavors with them. He adds that he is too attached to his current place to leave it. The red-haired female customer looks on, a look of concern and a hint of sadness on her face, uttering a soft but... The gray-haired male merchant intervenes, suggesting to the guild leader that it seems futile to change Jiha's mind and that they should respect his wishes. Jiha, now invigorated, assures them he won't forget their advice and will be careful. With a mischievous grin, he declares he'll charge a higher price for the potions they reserved yesterday. Red-haired female customer smiles wryly, remarking that anyone would think she's coercing him into bad deeds, a hint of amusement in her tone. She ultimately accepts his decision, though she jokingly expresses feeling dumped. She warns him not to regret it if he finds himself in a dangerous situation later. Jiha confidently reassures her not to worry, stating that if any dangerous situation arises, he'll be alerted. He gestures to a glowing humming bell plant, explaining that this special item will notify him if any worker falls into danger, a reliable failsafe for his shop. The narrator explains that ever since the mysterious gates appeared, daily life with natural surroundings has vanished, replaced by a grim reality where ominous portals scar the urban landscape. Monsters now dominate both the seas and beaches, making it incredibly difficult to find untouched natural spaces, even in mountains or valleys. Yet, in stark contrast to the monster-infested world, a serene path emerges, leading into the Dream Forest, a place untouched by the encroaching dangers. Jiha stands on a pristine beach within the Dream Forest, stretching his arms out in pure bliss, finding the scenery incredibly soothing. He muses that the sea is truly the best remedy for headaches. He gazes out at the vast ocean, surprised to find a sea within the Dream Forest, which he had expected to contain only forests. He ponders if this place is truly paradise on earth. Jiha, in an internal monologue, reflects on his exhaustion from the morning's interactions and questions whether he's truly qualified to be a general store owner, momentarily imagining the red-haired female customer's fierce recruitment once more. Jiha exclaims in joyful defiance, proclaiming he will recover by evening, rejecting the general store for now. He declares his intention to eat and read many books, reveling in his freedom on the beach. Exhausted from a day of social interaction, the gentle waves of the Dream Forest beach provide a soothing backdrop for Jiha's much-needed solitude. He sought refuge in the Dream Forest, spending some peaceful time alone by a crackling campfire, surrounded by books, embracing the quiet solitude. Jiha lies down, a look of tired contentment on his face, finding comfort in the fact that he can access this paradise anytime, anywhere. As Jiha rests, the tranquility is briefly interrupted by a narrative hint. Unexpected guests are on their way, foreshadowing future events. 2 hours earlier, Jiha is seen immersed in a large, ornate book, a gentle smile gracing his face as he enjoys the peaceful solitude. Sitting comfortably by a crackling campfire, Jiha muses on the profound calm of his surroundings, a rare luxury in his tumultuous world. The narrator reveals a harsh truth. While once simple, listening to the ocean's waves is now perilous, as the current seas are no longer safe for humans. Jiha, still holding his book, contemplates sharing this tranquil paradise, hoping to bring his friends, Sungo Hyung or Sunyoung Nuna, if the opportunity arises. A soft meow sound catches Jiha's ear, making him pause in surprise and question what he just heard. Jiha looks towards a mysterious blue glow emanating from a dark cave entrance, wondering if the cat-like sound is truly coming from within. Standing with a torch, Jiha observes the cave, noting the sound is like a kitten, yet subtly different, almost resembling a wild beast. Jiha first observes the quiet, humming bell flowers, then spots a pterodrone flying, confirming the area is not dangerous before exclaiming its name in surprise. Jiha quickly moves through the forest, following the sound as it draws nearer, guided by the flying pterodrone. Jiha exclaims in triumph, having located the source of the sound, a small, spotted creature lying vulnerable on the forest floor. System notification identifies the shivering creature as Actus, prompting Jiha to remark on its unusually large size for a mere cat. Jiha cradles Actus, his expression filled with concern over its poor condition, contemplating if a potion could help its recovery. A small pterodrone gently taps Jiha's shoulder, seeking his attention as he focuses on Actus. Jiha, holding Actus, apologizes to the pterodrone, admitting he was distracted by the creature and momentarily forgot about it. Jiha expresses surprise, questioning the sight of 4 pterodrones gathered around 2 large fish on the forest floor. Holding Actus, Jiha realizes with a smile that the pterodrones have brought food, deducing they are helping care for the creature. Jiha affectionately pets a pterodrone, expressing his pride and gratitude, promising to bring more delicious food on his next visit to the forest. Narrative shifts back to the present, showing empty fish skeletons and a potion bottle, indicating Actus has been fed and treated. Jiha, watching Actus sleep peacefully on his lap by the campfire, feels a profound relief that the potion worked and the creature is recovering. Jiha's curiosity is piqued as he realizes Actus is the first animal he's ever seen in the dream forest, prompting him to ponder its origins. Jiha gently strokes the sleeping Actus, softly questioning where the mysterious creature came from. Actus awakens, its striking blue eyes opening as it lets out a soft meow, responding to Jiha's touch. Jiha, startled by Actus's awakening, quickly apologizes, then beams as the creature lets out another endearing meow. Jiha is utterly smitten, his eyes turning to hearts as he exclaims how incredibly cute Actus is, feeling a dump in his chest. Overwhelmed by Actus's cuteness, Jiha playfully wonders if this overwhelming charm signifies him being chosen, his imagination running wild. Jiha ponders a suitable name for the creature, finding Actus not quite fitting for its adorable nature. Holding Actus up, Jiha suggests a new name, Biam, noting its resemblance to a tiger. With a warm smile, Jiha formally invites Biam to stay with him, receiving an affirmative meow in response. A vibrant, heart-filled panel shows a young woman utterly charmed, exclaiming with wide, adoring eyes, "Oh my, so cute!" As the adorable creature captivates the crowd, one customer exclaims about its piercing gaze, while another, utterly charmed, declares, "This is insane, it's so cute." A third voice then questions, "Isn't this a snow leopard? Where did you get it?" Jiha, beaming, explains that he found the creature in a dungeon and brought it home because it had nowhere else to go. He then proudly reveals, its name is Biam. The tiny snow leopard appears just as happy, radiating sparkles and hearts. A female customer, reaching out cautiously, asks Jiha, "May I pet Biam?" Biam, however, looks less than thrilled, his expression turning wary. Before she can touch him, Biam lets out a sharp meow and lashes out, scratching her hand. The customer recoils, crying out, "Ouch!" The customer cradles her injured hand, a visible red mark glowing. She laments, "My hand is fine, but my heart hurts." Jiha, looking apologetic, explains, "I apologize. It's a bit shy." Jiha gently scolds Biam. "Biam, you must not do that." The snow leopard responds with a defiant meow. Jiha then clarifies to the customers that Biam is only affectionate with him, adding, "It's such a prickly one to anyone else." Biam, looking up with wide, innocent eyes, seems to ponder the situation as a thought bubble appears. If it's shy, it won't be a good idea to keep it in the store. Jiha, however, is lost in his own thoughts, a blush on his cheeks and a wistful smile, thinking, "I want to boast about our Biam's cuteness too." A bell jingles, announcing a new arrival. Jiha greets the female warrior, "Welcome," and then, recognizing her, adds, "Ah, Hyunjin SSI, long time no see." Hyunjin explains her visit. I had some business around here, so I'm stopping by for a bit. Jiha attempts to offer her coffee, but before he can finish, Byum lets out a curious meow at the sight of the warrior. Suddenly, Hyunjin reacts with a shocked cry. What's that? She quickly hides behind a coat rack, peering out nervously. Jiha, puzzled by her reaction, asks, Hyunjin SSI. Hyunjin, still cowering, states, it's a tiger. Jiha, bewildered, repeats, yeah, so a tiger. He then realizes, so Hyunjin SSI is scared of something too. Jiha, trying to ease the tension, offers Hyunjin a cup of coffee. Ah, right, take this, have some coffee. Hyunjin, still wary of Byum, asks, pardon? You're giving this to me. Hyunjin cries out, Jiha SSI, Ta SSI, as Byum, with a curious meow, begins to approach her. She nervously points out that this wild beast is coming closer though? Jiha, noticing Hyunjin's genuine fear, apologizes. I'm sorry. It's going to live with me from now on. I had no idea you'd be this scared of it. He then gently tells Byum, let's get down now. Jiha looks down at Byum, a surprised expression on his face, muttering, huh. Byum, with a sweet, closed-eye smile, appears to be nudging Hyunjin. Jiha observes, it looks like it wants you to pet it though? Hyunjin, still hesitant, repeats, pet, huh? Pet it? Hyunjin slowly extends her hand, a bead of sweat on her temple, as she nervously says, then let me. With a gentle touch, Hyunjin finally pets Byum's head. The snow leopard closes its eyes in contentment, sparkling with happiness. Hyunjin smiles down at the now docile Byum, realizing, it's a gentle tiger. She then adds with a slight chuckle, it's a tiger only in name. Hyunjin then changes the subject, asking Jiha, ah, right, I heard you gave out buff scrolls for free. HunterNet is in a bit of an uproar because of that. The guild leader of Eternal Flame Guild even came the other day. Hyunjin reflects on Jiha's actions, thinking, to think he'd give her a scroll that costs at least a few $100 million. She then ponders, is he that unambitious or just dull? As Byum playfully nips at Jiha's shirt, Hyunjin's thoughts continue, but I'm sure he's always been like that, uncalculating, without greed, someone who makes others comfortable. Hyunjin concludes her thoughts, is that why I often come to this store? Meanwhile, Jiha, holding Byum, smiles contentedly, telling the snow leopard, my clothes will stretch. Byum. Suddenly, a potted plant with 3 yellow flowers begins to glow and vibrate intensely, emitting a humming sound. Jiha, holding Byum, looks at the vibrating plant with concern, asking, huh? What's up with humming bell? A chilling realization dawns on him as he mutters, don't tell me. The atmosphere shifts dramatically as a red alert flashes across the scene. Type 4 catastrophe warning. Type 4 catastrophe warning. Hyunjin, startled, looks up as the warning continues. Nearby residents should evacuate immediately. Once again. Hyunjin's face is etched with urgency and fear as she shouts, this is not a drill. Evacuate immediately. Evacuate at once. Jiha, holding Byum protectively, looks shocked and worried, his eyes wide with concern as the sound of the alarm fills the air. Outside, military vehicles line the streets as a voice commands, the hunters are here. Lead the people and guide them to evacuate. Another voice responds firmly, yes, understood. The city is on high alert. The city's high alert intensifies as the evacuation is in full swing, a voice urging everyone to move quickly. Jiha, cradling a small white creature, grimly realizes that a Type 4 warning signifies a Category 4 dungeon catastrophe. As the crowd continues to evacuate, Jiha reflects that a Type 4 catastrophe would mean many strong hunters are present, hoping they can stop the impending disaster. Jiha kneels, gently comforting Byum as it lets out a soft meow. He reassures it, repeating to himself, it's fine, nothing will happen. Sudden, unsettling feeling washes over Jiha, his eyes widening with a hint of fear as he senses an impending threat. Panic explodes through the evacuating crowd. Screams of KYA and desperate cries of echo as people fall and scramble, overwhelmed by terror. Cradling Byum, Jiha looks up, his expression troubled as Byum lets out another soft meow. He wonders if it's still too early to feel reassured amidst the growing chaos. Jiha gently strokes Byum's head, reassuring the creature, it's fine, Byum. Standing firm, Jiha holds Byum close, attempting to convince himself, it must be nothing. The title card for Hunter's World Gardener flashes, marking a brief interlude before the true nature of the catastrophe unfolds. Terrifying purple vortex of energy manifests, signifying a catastrophe. This crisis erupts when hunters fail to complete their quest within a dungeon, allowing its malevolent forces to spill into the world. Military forces are deployed with tanks and armed soldiers, as the narrator explains that while low-difficulty dungeon catastrophes are manageable, a rank 4 or higher dungeon catastrophe presents a far more dire threat. An overhead view reveals the vast scale of the emergency. Civilians within a 20-kilometer radius of the dungeon gate are ordered to evacuate immediately. Simultaneously, military operations are initiated with armored forces, and high-ranking hunters, including a striking red-haired woman, are mobilized to confront the impending threat. The dark-haired female warrior, her eyes sharp and focused, mutters with grim certainty, "They're coming." A soldier shouts into his radio, his voice cracking with urgency, "Open fire!" Soldiers unleash a barrage of gunfire from rooftops and street level, their rifles spitting fire as bullets impact the unseen enemy with explosive force. Heavy artillery is primed, with 2 missiles locked and ready on their launchers, preparing for deployment. Fighter jets soar overhead, unleashing a devastating payload of bombs that engulf the city in a fiery maelstrom of explosions. Amidst the burning ruins, a stern-faced man in a suit with armored shoulder pads observes the devastation, realizing with a grim expression, "Liches, the undead dungeon attack must have failed." The man in the suit contemplates, convinced that with such overwhelming firepower, the battle will soon conclude. He plans to quickly finish off the remaining threats and then make his escape. The man in the suit commands a soldier to focus the firepower on the gate, asserting that his team will handle the escaped monsters and curse-wielding liches. The soldier responds with a firm, "Understood." Man in the suit affirms, "All right, we'll be able to end this if there's no other variable," just as a monstrous, purple-glowing hand claws its way out of the portal. Before his eyes, a colossal, grotesque purple monster with piercing red eyes fully emerges from the gate. The man in the suit gasps in horror, "That's a monstrous being." Panicked, the man in the suit shouts, "It's an emergency. Focus your firepower onto that bastard. Hurry." A soldier quickly acknowledges, "Understood." Soldier relays the urgent command through his radio, bellowing, "Open fire. Pour out everything you have." A concentrated military bombardment unleashes a hellstorm of explosions and energy blasts directly onto the monstrous being. Despite the overwhelming assault, the monstrous being's grotesque face remains unfazed, a missile comically lodged between its bared fangs. Missile detonates within its mouth, unleashing a blinding, earth-shattering explosion that engulfs the monster. The man in the suit exclaims, "Nice! Focus the firepower," but his expression quickly turns grim as he realizes the monstrous being is a disaster rank, and even this much attack. The monstrous being stands defiant, its red eyes glowing, as the man in the suit finishes his chilling thought, "Won't even leave a scratch on it." Monstrous being snarls, its red eyes blazing with malevolent intent, perceiving the presence of dangerous enemies. With a thunderous impact, the monstrous being brings its foot down, shattering the ground beneath, its singular thought echoing, "I must kill." Engulfed in a furious red aura, the monstrous being unleashes its full power, hurtling forward with the primal urge to obliterate its dangerous enemies. Jiha, with an armored shoulder glinting, desperately warns his comrades to dodge, realizing the monstrous threat is charging directly towards them. Jiha stares in disbelief as the colossal shadow of the monstrous being rushes past him, questioning if it's truly not attacking them. A sudden, chilling realization dawns upon Jiha, his eyes widening as he understands the monstrous being's true objective. Monstrous being barrels towards the massive dome structure, its target now undeniable, the civilian shelter. A swift, powerful foot descends, striking the ground with a burst of azure energy as a voice challenges the monstrous being's advance. The dark-haired swordsman, surrounded by ethereal blue swords, descends upon the monstrous being, challenging its right to approach the shelter. Activating powerful sword rampage, the dark-haired swordsman unleashes a blinding flurry of glowing blue sword slashes, engulfing the monstrous being in a tempest of attacks. The red-haired female customer's fiery assault connects with the monstrous being, erupting in a powerful explosion of flames and concussive force. Despite being engulfed in a torrent of searing flames, the monstrous being stands firm, seemingly impervious to the intense heat and explosive impact. Both the dark-haired swordsman and the red-haired female customer stare in utter shock, realizing their combined assault hasn't even made the monstrous being flinch or turn from its path. The monstrous being's red eyes glow ominously as it winds up a devastating punch, its massive fist crackling with raw, pinkish energy. With a cataclysmic blow, the monstrous being smashes its fist into the domed shelter, sending shockwaves and debris exploding outwards as the structure begins to crumble. Dark-haired swordsman, gripping his sword, acknowledges the danger of approaching the monstrous being, but defiantly asks if they should simply abandon the civilians inside the shelter to their fate. Inside the breached shelter, the monstrous being grins menacingly, its red eyes scanning the terrified civilians as it declares, "Found you!" Jiha stands frozen in terror, clutching his cat amidst the panicked civilians as the monstrous being looms before them, now their undeniable enemy. Jiha's face is etched with terror, his thoughts racing as he comprehends the shelter's breach and the grim situation outside, yet his body is paralyzed by fear, unable to flee. Jiha desperately urges his legs to move, and against all odds, a surge of adrenaline finally breaks through his paralysis, allowing him to take a step. Just as the monstrous being's colossal hand smashes through the wall, Jiha narrowly dodges its grasp, scrambling away from the immediate danger. Small cat BBM stares intently with its bright blue eyes, a surprising intensity in its gaze. BBM unleashes a powerful torrent of shimmering blue energy from its mouth, striking the monstrous being and forcefully pushing it back through the shattered wall. Jiha stares in utter disbelief as BBM stands radiating a powerful blue aura, questioning the sudden surge of power from his seemingly ordinary pet. The monstrous being recoils, sweat beading on its brow, as a voice dismisses it as nothing more than a lowly demonic being. BBM manifests its true, colossal form, a majestic white tiger with piercing blue eyes, roaring a command for the monstrous being to get lost. The dark-haired swordsman looks up in astonishment, sensing an enormous amount of ether unleashed as the monstrous being remains frozen in place. Seizing the critical opening, the dark-haired swordsman declares this their chance while the monster is frozen, igniting his sword with intense flame, while the red-haired female customer prepares her own fiery assault. Dark-haired swordsman unleashes a fierce battle cry, his blade poised to strike as he capitalizes on the monster's momentary paralysis. He activates Fire Sword Rampant, a flurry of blazing slashes tearing through the monstrous being, leaving trails of intense heat in their wake. The monstrous being roars in agony as the fiery attacks connect, its massive body racked with pain and engulfed in shimmering energy. The dark-haired swordsman maintains a low, determined stance, his entire being focused on the powerful assault he just delivered. The red-haired female customer questions if the battle is over, but the dark-haired swordsman, sensing an immense amount of ether still within the foe, confirms it is not. The dark-haired swordsman spots Jiha kneeling amidst the debris, cradling a small creature, and expresses surprise that he is still there. Jiha looks up, startled, holding a small cat-like creature that lets out a soft meow, seemingly unfazed by the recent chaos. An aerial view reveals the widespread devastation across the city, plumes of smoke rising from damaged buildings, indicating the scale of the monstrous attack. As emergency services arrive, a system notification declares NO vital response, situation resolved, and commands to take care of the wounded. The dark-haired swordsman internally notes the ether has vanished. Jiha gently strokes the cat BM, pondering the mysterious events that just unfolded, wondering what kind of being it was. Later, Jiha dries his hair with a towel, reflecting on the chaotic day and muttering about how crazy it was. Relaxing in his chair with BM on his lap, Jiha praises the cat, acknowledging its good work as BM purrs contentedly. Jiha continues to pet BM, noting that the cat seemed angry when it saw the monstrous beings, but is now calm and relaxed. Lost in thought, Jiha muses about the monstrous beings while BM gazes up at him, a silent observer of his contemplation. The quill in hand, Jiha decides to document his experiences, believing he should write down what he has witnessed. He searches on his laptop, finding a mere wiki entry for monstrous being, which describes it as 15 meters tall, ugly, and has powerful strength. Jiha, now dressed in a suit, reacts with shock and disbelief as he discovers something unexpected on the mere wiki. He stares at his laptop, realizing with astonishment that the mere wiki's information is actually getting updated, a feat previously thought impossible. Back in his casual clothes, Jiha smiles contentedly, believing his notes are sufficient, but then realizes the profound implication. That mere wiki that an O1 could edit? A high-level meeting is underway, discussing the recent incident. One participant states that all they know is an ether wave occurred, another believes hunters didn't kill the monster, and a third notes the damage would have been worse without the ether explosion. A final voice questions, then who did it? Man in a suit dismisses the idea of human involvement, suggesting it could be a natural phenomenon. He then points out that everyone at the shelter sensed the ether explosion, a shelter full of civilians. A woman in a suit asserts that something more is coming, emphasizing that the mere wiki's update is an unprecedented event. The woman continues, highlighting that someone possessed the power to frighten the monstrous being, and that this information was then added to the mere wiki. The woman states there are two significant points to consider, prompting an inquisitive HM from the man beside her. The dark-haired swordsman postulates that the individual who drove away the monstrous being was either at the shelter or possesses unique abilities unlike those of a typical hunter. The woman in the suit connects the dots, recalling that many people reported hearing a cat cry during the ether explosion, a detail that now seems highly significant. Man in the suit dismisses the cat cry as unimportant, but then adds a crucial piece of information. The store owner, Jiha, was also at the shelter at that very moment. The woman in the suit confirms the detail, specifically mentioning the cat that resembles a snow leopard, cementing their suspicions. Jiha stands behind his counter, smiling warmly, seemingly oblivious to the intense scrutiny now directed his way. Man in the suit, the woman in the suit, and the dark-haired swordsman stand together, their expressions a mix of intrigue and resolve, as if extending an unspoken invitation or challenge. As if accepting an unspoken challenge, the gray-haired male merchant, the red-haired female customer, and the dark-haired swordsman advance with purposeful strides. The gray-haired male merchant questions, "What's going on?" They lean over the counter, their expressions intense, as the gray-haired male merchant declares, "Let us see your cat." Jiha looks startled, his hands clasped as he asks, "See cat? Do you mean Biam? He will get scared and run away if you are." Jiha attempts to explain, gesturing, "Rustle like this," as the others lean in, their presence overwhelming. Jiha reaches out, his eyes wide with surprise as a small, white paw emerges onto the counter. Biam, a white cat with distinctive gray spots, stretches gracefully on the counter as Jiha affectionately calls out, "Biam." The red-haired female customer, dark-haired swordsman, and gray-haired male merchant stare in astonishment at the glowing Biam, the red-haired female customer exclaiming, "You!" Biam sits majestically, its blue eyes gleaming, surrounded by a soft, ethereal glow, captivating all who behold it. Red-haired female customer lifts Biam, questioning, "This is the cat that caused the ether wave? He just looks like a normal cat." Jiha frantically warns, "Why, you can't hold him like that," while the red-haired female customer remarks, "I don't sense any ether from him." Red-haired female customer holds Biam confidently, stating, "I should sense something if this little cat caused that much of an explosion." Suddenly, Biam retaliates, sinking its teeth into the red-haired female customer's arm with a sharp cutock. The red-haired female customer glares at Biam, exclaiming, "You little dash," as Jiha adds, "He bites, so you have to be careful." The dark-haired swordsman looks at Jiha, questioning, "I heard you were at the shelter during the monstrous being incident." Jiha smiles nervously, holding Biam, as the dark-haired swordsman continues, "There was a report that said someone heard a cat noise right before the monstrous being ran away." Jiha responds, "Ah," while Biam innocently adds, "Meow." Gray-haired male merchant adjusts his glasses, confirming the peculiar report with a thoughtful, "Yeah." Jiha yelps in pain as Biam bites his finger, while the gray-haired male merchant dismisses the earlier report, concluding, "I think it's a false report." The red-haired female customer, smiling subtly, expresses her desire to recruit Biam, but admits, "I wish I could scout him right now, but now's not a good time." She continues, revealing her reluctance to compete against the formidable Eternal Flame Guild, a challenge she's already rejected. As the gray-haired male merchant turns to leave, stating, "I'll see you again next time," Jiha asks, "Chum, you're leaving?" The dark-haired swordsman watches them go, muttering, "I want to see you get rejected like me." He pauses, a slight escaping his lips. And a confident smile spreads across the dark-haired swordsman's face as she declares, "I'll be back." Jiha, holding Biam, smiles warmly, responding, "Anytime." Later, under the night sky, Jiha relaxes by a campfire with Biam, pondering aloud, "Gehenna continent?" He flips through an ancient book, murmuring, "I heard about it from somewhere." His eyes widen as he reads further, questioning, "Gods that protect Gehenna's nature?" The book describes a creature with white fur with black spots, and a skill called Nature's Raging Fangs. Jiha's mind races, realizing, "Wait a minute." A profound realization dawns on Jiha, his expression a mix of shock and disbelief as he clutches the ancient tome. As Biam purrs contentedly on his lap, Jiha finally connects the dots, a single, stunned question escaping his lips. "Biam is a nature god?" Jiha stares at the small cat on his lap, musing that Biam's tiny form hardly seems divine. Yet everything that has transpired around him suddenly clicks into place, making an unsettling amount of sense. He places his hand on the mysterious book, a stark realization dawning on him. None of these strange occurrences could possibly be mere coincidence. Jiha's mind flashes back to the massive ether explosion, a memory now dominated by the image of a majestic, glowing white tiger and the tiny Biam at its core. He concludes that Biam must have been the cause. He looks down at Biam, the question finally forming clearly in his mind. Could this adorable creature truly be a nature god? Jiha's gaze drifts to the majestic tree in the distance, a thought sparking in his mind. If Biam is a nature god, then the grand tree from his dreams must be directly connected. As a soft green glow emanates from his hand, Jiha's expression hardens with understanding. The puzzle pieces finally align, and everything makes perfect, terrifying sense. The ethereal tree pulses with light as Jiha's thoughts race, connecting his past actions, helping the pterodones, saving Biam, and even his visions of the labors, all feel like preordained events. The mysterious book on the bench glows intensely, reflecting Jiha's profound realization that his entire journey feels meticulously orchestrated, part of a much grander, divine plan. Suddenly, the glowing book springs open, startling Jiha with a sharp gasp as he stares at its newly revealed contents. A translucent system window materializes before Jiha, displaying his full name, Yu Jiha, and his assigned class, XXX's Worker. His main stats are Health 80, Ether 2, Vitality 70, Essence 2. Secondary stats include Endurance 7, Strength 8, Agility 7, Talent 9, and Mentality 9. Resistance shows Physical 5 and Element Ice 32. His traits are XXX's Blessing, and skills are Plant Amiability LVL, Animal Amiability LVL, Alchemy LVL2. Jiha, still sitting on the bench, gazes at the floating system screen, pondering the meaning of his new, cryptic class, XXX's Worker. A sudden surge of golden energy envelopes Jiha's hands, causing him to instinctively shield his face in surprise, a confused gasp escaping his lips. The scene abruptly shifts to a shadowy room where a figure, cloaked in a blanket, clutches a remote. The voiceover reveals a grim reality. An Elder Lich continues to lead hordes of undead near Yurisan, a threat the government abandoned a decade ago. On a news broadcast, 3 officials gravely discuss the spreading corruption that threatens to deplete the granary, leading to a severe food shortage. One insists on bombing the affected area immediately, but another counters that the region is far too vast for such a solution. The grim debate continues, emphasizing the immense size of the corrupted zone. A frustrated voice laments that action should have been taken sooner, concluding that with no other options left, they must now commit every available resource. Cloaked figure, still watching the news, lets out a sigh, acknowledging the immense difficulty of hunting a lich. Jiha stands before the colossal, luminous tree in the dream forest, recognizing it as the entity that drew him into this otherworldly realm. Looking up at the radiant tree, Jiha smiles, admitting he doesn't understand why he was entrusted with such a crucial mission, but he trusts there's a profound reason behind it. Jiha's resolve solidifies as he promises to do his utmost to assist the ancient tree. A violent, swirling vortex of dark purple energy erupts in the tranquil dream forest, its ominous presence disturbing the serene atmosphere. Jiha turns, his attention drawn to the unsettling purple vortex, a puzzled sound escaping his lips. Jiha watches the vortex intensify, a shadowy figure beginning to coalesce within its depths. He wonders aloud what is happening, a chilling thought striking him as he recognizes the distinctive purple hue. Jiha crouches low, his eyes wide with disbelief and horror as he stares at the unfolding spectacle, a stunned gasp barely audible. The Elder Lich hovers menacingly above a vast, skeletal army, each undead warrior glowing with the same dark purple energy, their numbers stretching into the distance. Jiha gasps in horror, identifying the skeletal commander as an Elder Lich, a monstrous entity classified as a dread-grade monster. From his vantage point, Jiha initially observes the distant skeletal figures, remarking on their deceptive smallness, before the chilling commands death to every living being. "And kneel before our master," echo across the dreamscape, revealing their true, terrifying intent. Jiha's eyes widen in alarm as a new system notification flashes before him, triggered by the sudden, overwhelming threat. System warns Jiha that the Elder Lich is corrupting nearby lands and will soon reach his own territory. It then presents him with a choice. While an immediate counterattack is difficult, it offers suggestions to reduce the Lich's influence. Jiha promptly accepts, affirming of course. With a determined smile, Jiha firmly declares his unwavering commitment to the task, understanding that he has no other choice but to act. A horde of skeletal warriors with glowing red eyes surges forward, their collective roar echoing the chilling demands of death and kneel as they advance. Jiha, holding a small white cat, observes the distant tiny army below him, musing that it is indeed a dream-grade monster, yet it appears almost cute in its small form from this height. He contemplates the situation, realizing it would be simpler to intervene using ether, but then questions if he could simply slap them away. A sudden realization dawns upon Jiha as he remembers the nature of the threat. It's impossible to simply swat them away because he's facing a lich. The cat in his arms lets out a soft meow. He recalls that a lich cannot be truly defeated unless the source of its life is utterly destroyed, making a direct confrontation akin to merely slapping a devil ant utterly ineffective. Jiha concludes that, as expected, he must address both the lich and its life source, his gaze shifting towards the distant castle. From Jiha's perspective, the vast skeletal army marches towards the majestic castle, an eerie contrast to the serene landscape. Jiha, still cradling the cat, looks on with a surprised expression, wondering about the identity of the castle. He recognizes the structure, realizing he has seen that particular castle somewhere before. His eyes fixate on the banner, and he exclaims that he has seen that flag before, identifying it as the Estram Kingdom's flag. Jiha, with a troubled expression, considers the implication. If this is the Estram Kingdom, then are those liches its former people? The chilling thought solidifies as he sees the skeletal warriors, confirming his suspicion that these are indeed the people of the Estram Kingdom, now twisted into undead. Jiha scratches his head, acknowledging that they could be the Estram Kingdom's people, but quickly dismisses that detail as unimportant in the grand scheme. His focus sharpens on the grim reality, the undeniable fact that these undead forces are actively corrupting the lands. Jiha stands resolute, affirming that if he cannot intervene directly, he will employ another strategy. With a determined expression, Jiha declares his intention to deploy his own army as a vast swarm of terror drones materializes before him. A system notification appears, stating that a large rock obstructs his army's path. Jiha questions the presence of the rock, realizing only the Terradrone warrior can move it. He considers the delay, concluding that leaving the task to them would take far too long. System prompt offers two choices: 1. Move the rock -1 essence, or 2. Leave it to the Terradrones. Jiha decisively chooses to move the rock himself. With the path cleared, Jiha commands his Terradrone army to press forward, urging them to find the Elder Lich's source of power. The Terradrones clash violently with the skeletal warriors, a maelstrom of glowing impacts and shattering bones erupting across the battlefield. Terradrone warrior smashes through several skeletons, sending fragments flying, as Jiha watches in awe, exclaiming, "Wow!" Jiha observes the fierce combat, noting with satisfaction that his Terradrones are now much stronger and have truly become an actual army. The Elder Lich, enraged by the assault, screams in fury over his falling soldiers, commanding his remaining forces to protect the Lord's tribute box. The Terradrones continue their relentless charge, overwhelming the skeletal resistance and scattering them across the ground. The Elder Lich's dark magic surges outwards, a network of crackling purple energy engulfing the Terradrones, attempting to bind and destroy them. Amidst the Elder Lich's surging dark magic, a brilliant golden aura enveloped Jiha, who beamed, realizing the worker's blessing had activated at the perfect moment. The Elder Lich's shriek echoes as a Terradrone warrior slices through its ethereal form with a powerful sweep. Another Terradrone slams into the Elder Lich, sending its skeletal body reeling through the air. Trapped by the relentless Terradrones, the Elder Lich rages, demanding to be released from the grasp of these cursed trees peasants. The Elder Lich's skeletal form shatters under the continuous assault, its pained shriek piercing the air as fragments of bone scatter. The Elder Lich's head, still defiant, mocks its attackers, proclaiming the futility of destroying its mere undead body. Sudden surge of ominous purple energy makes the Elder Lich's skull gasp in alarm, sensing an unexpected turn of events. A Terradrone stands before an ancient chest within a vibrant, stained glass chamber, revealing the Elder Lich's true source of power, much to the Lich's disbelief. Jiha receives a system notification. To destroy the Elder Lich's source, he must evolve his Terradrone warrior, a costly endeavor requiring 5 essence, but a necessary one. Jiha accepts the evolution, and a Terradrone transforms in a brilliant flash of golden light, emerging as a powerful Terradrone knight. Newly evolved Terradrone Knight soars with incredible speed, charging directly towards the Elder Lich's stronghold. With a devastating impact, the Terradrone Knight breaches the floor, creating a gaping hole as it descends towards the Elder Lich's source. The Elder Lich's physical form disintegrates entirely, its desperate pleas to stop the assault echoing as its bones scatter into dust. Terradrone Knight drills into the Elder Lich's source with a furious, explosive impact, silencing the Lich's final, ominous threat. The Elder Lich's spectral form is ripped apart, its agonizing scream consumed by a swirling vortex of blue energy. Countless tormented spirits, released from the Lich's control, are drawn into the same ethereal blue current, their cries fading into the void. Jiha, holding his companion, watches as the last vestiges of the Elder Lich's dark energy dissipate into the serene landscape, signifying the battle's end. Wide smile spreads across Jiha's face as he declares their victory, the tension of the battle finally released. A small army of Terradrones marches forward, each carrying valuable chests and shimmering orange crystals, collecting the spoils of war. Jiha kneels amidst a mountain of gold and shimmering crystals, expressing his gratitude to the Terradrones for their abundant haul. One Terradrone presents an unusually large chest to Jiha, who looks on with a curious expression. The chest radiates a brilliant light and expands dramatically in size, leaving Jiha questioning its sudden growth. Jiha carefully opens the massive chest, revealing a dazzling light from within, prompting an exclamation of pure awe. Jiha grasps a magnificent sword, identified as the Estram Kingdom's royal seal, a unique item granting mentality +5 and the trait Conqueror's charisma, confirming his suspicions about the ancient kingdom. Gazing at the ancient castle ruins, Jiha muses about finding the sword's original owner, though he assumes they perished long ago, deciding the item isn't immediately useful to him. Jiha carefully stows the royal seal into his backpack, deciding to safeguard it for future use. With a determined smile, Jiha brandishes a shovel, ready to begin the arduous task of cleansing the corrupted land. Jiha diligently scoops handfuls of corrupted soil into a large container, aided by his industrious terradrones. Jiha observes with satisfaction as the corrupted soil instantly disintegrates into sparkling particles upon contact with the forest's energy, confirming his hypothesis. A terradrone offers an inkwell to Jiha, who, puzzled, asks if it desires him to write a scroll. Jiha, still holding the quill, explains to the terradrone that he cannot write a scroll without proper rune words. The ancient tree behind them shimmers with faint, golden symbols. System presents a powerful phrase, purification. Restore your land as it was originally. Jiha, intrigued by the words, wonders how he is meant to utilize such a command. Suddenly, the playful white cat, BBM, leaps onto Jiha, startling him as he cries out for it to wait. Magical motes of light sparkle around them. Jiha shields BBM, warning that the scroll is corrupted and could harm the creature. A system notification flashes, revealing the Harmony Scroll. Cleanse can restore corrupted land. BBM lets out a loud meow, its head tilted back in what seems like a protest or an excited cry. The terradrone proudly clutches the newly written scroll, proclaiming it as its own with a triumphant gesture, leaving Jiha and BBM stunned. Jiha holds BBM close, a puzzled expression on his face as he realizes the terradrone and the scroll have vanished without a trace. Jiha, still sitting on the grass with BBM in his lap, looks around the empty clearing, wondering where the mysterious terradrone could have disappeared to. The scene shifts dramatically to a desolate, mist-shrouded mountain range under a grim sky as a voice echoes, declaring this darkened expanse as their land. Barren ground is littered with the skeletal remains of countless beings, surrounding a monolithic, gray tombstone that stands silent amidst the devastation. Death, a chilling declaration rings out as one of the officials dismisses it with a scoff, muttering about generic threats of death to all living beings. One of the officials acknowledges the threat of a dread-grade monster, but his words trail off, cut short by a sudden, inexplicable shift in the air. Lich King, radiating dark purple energy, stands imperiously before his skeletal army, declaring that this land has been bestowed upon them for their peace. The Lich King's ominous voice warns against disturbing their peace, as a colossal vortex of dark purple energy erupts, crackling with destructive power. From the swirling purple vortex, a massive armored terradrone bursts forth, its powerful form glowing with light, leaving the Lich King utterly bewildered. Lich King, his skeletal face contorted in rage, identifies the powerful creature as a cursed tree's race and furiously commands it to halt its advance. The terradrone unleashes a devastating attack, its armored limbs glowing with fierce energy as it slams into the ground, causing a powerful impact. The terradrone endures the full force of the dark purple magic, its tough carapace showing signs of impact but holding firm against the onslaught. Terradrone, completely unfazed by the attack, boasts that the Lich King's magic is nothing more than a minor annoyance. The Lich King stares in disbelief, his skeletal jaw dropping as he questions how the terradrone could possibly withstand his powerful magic. Back in his shop, Jiha gently pets BBM, his eyes wide with surprise as he utters a welcoming greeting to an unseen arrival. A blonde-haired woman, wearing a pink top, bursts into the shop, running with urgency as Jiha, startled, recognizes her as his sister. Jiha's sister excitedly holds up her phone, telling him to watch this, as a news report announces a live connection to reporter Song Yuyang at Yurisan. News report displays a live feed from Yurisan Chonwangbong, showcasing golden light beams erupting from the mountains, with the reporter noting traces of combat where liches were present. The news continues, announcing that all the lands previously tainted purple have been miraculously cleansed, leading officials to believe all liches have been eliminated. Jiha, listening intently, wonders aloud, what's going on? The news anchor continues, reporting the appearance of a mysterious, never-before-seen monster, as a small image of the powerful terradrone flashes on screen. The news report speculates that the monsters were disaster grade, with some even suggesting destruction level, yet they are now gone. Jiha, recognizing the creature, questions why a terradrone would be involved. Sharp-eyed man with blue hair, sitting at a desk, gravely corrects the news report, stating that the monsters were not merely destruction grade. A mysterious woman with long dark hair, clad in armor and a flowing red cape, reveals the terrifying truth. The monsters were, in fact, mythic grade. As the shocking truth of mythic grade monsters is revealed, a red-haired female customer, casually lounging, exclaims in disbelief, questioning the unfolding chaos. Meanwhile, Jiha's silhouette looms over the small, beetle-like monsters, his voice echoing as he addresses them directly. Jiha stands firm, arms crossed, and declares his intention to talk with the tiny, armored beings. Kneeling to their level, Jiha reassures one of the beetle-like monsters that they have done nothing wrong and should not worry. Jiha points to an open scroll on the ground, pressing the small monster about its involvement in ripping the scroll and appearing at Yuri-san. As the monster attempts to scurry away, Jiha shouts in surprise, realizing its intention to flee. Jiha watches, bewildered, as the beetle-like monster begins to drop a shimmering pile of gold and purple crystals before him. A dazzling close-up reveals the growing mound of precious, glowing purple and golden crystals, sparkling intensely. Jiha firmly rejects the apparent bribe, reiterating his demand for an answer regarding their presence at Yuri-san. The small monster bows its head in confirmation, prompting Jiha to declare that he knew it all along. Jiha gently pats the monster's head, explaining that he merely sought confirmation, not to scold them. The wide smile, Jiha praises the beetle-like monster for its excellent work in cleansing Yuri-san. Overwhelmed by the sheer volume of 10 ether stones and 10 essences, Jiha wonders how he will manage to handle such a massive haul. Jiha holds up a magnificent purple ether stone, identifying it as a relic from an Elder Lich worth millions of dollars. A small white cat appears on Jiha's shoulder, meowing intently at the ether stone, making Jiha wonder if it wants to play with the valuable gem. The persistent cat continues to meow, prompting Jiha to reluctantly hand over the precious ether stone. Jiha watches in stunned disbelief as the cat, still meowing, begins to bite into and consume the incredibly valuable ether stone. Observing the cat's peculiar behavior, Jiha questions if the ether stone serves as an energy source, linking it to why the Terradrones might have sought it. Cat meows contentedly as Jiha, accepting the extraordinary event, muses that the creature must be one of nature's gods, operating beyond common understanding. With a newfound total of 15 essences, Jiha decides it is time to invest them in leveling up his stats. Jiha, surrounded by a radiant aura, allocates his points to strength, his stats now showing strength 9 and endurance 8. Flexing his arm, Jiha wonders if he has become stronger, noting that as a worker, he could certainly use more strength. Jiha gently pets the cat, reflecting that he doesn't need to be obsessed with constantly getting stronger. Content and smiling, Jiha happily continues petting the cat, expressing his satisfaction with his current state. Wearing a backpack and beaming, Jiha enthusiastically declares his readiness to join a dungeon latecomer party, admitting he's never experienced one before. Wide shot reveals a bustling city square with a grand fountain, as Jiha observes the crowd of recovery specialists, noting that a latecomer party this large implies a massive dungeon. Jiha turns as a friendly hunter, Wang Ho, waves enthusiastically, greeting him, to which Jiha politely responds. Wang Ho confirms the rumors of an unprecedentedly large dungeon opening, while Jiha expresses his astonishment at the sheer number of people gathered for a latecomer party. Wang Ho optimistically suggests they might find something good, but Jiha, more realistically, doubts they'll get a chance to even look at the best loot. Wang Ho playfully reassures Jiha, suggesting there's always overlooked loot that lazy hunters leave behind, sparking Jiha's curiosity. As Jiha's curiosity is piqued by the thought of hidden dungeon treasures, a confident stride echoes through the bustling city square, signaling a new arrival. A powerful hunter, known as the dark-haired swordsman, appears, drawing murmurs from the crowd. Onlookers wonder if it is Hunter Seo Hyunjin. Jiha and other onlookers observe the dark-haired swordsman. Whispers spread, acknowledging Seo Hyunjin's presence and remarking on their appearance, even in armor. The dark-haired swordsman reacts with a slight gasp as the crowd continues to chatter, discussing their accomplishments and reputation. Suddenly, the dark-haired swordsman calls out Jiha's name, startling him as he turns with a surprised expression. The dark-haired swordsman asks Jiha if he's joining as a latecomer. Jiha confirms his participation, mentioning he was called to fill a need for more people. Bystanders whisper in confusion about the interaction and Jiha's identity. A concerned expression crosses the dark-haired swordsman's face as they warn Jiha about the potential dangers. They then pause, considering something. With a hint of hesitation, the dark-haired swordsman offers assistance to Jiha. Dark-haired swordsman explains to Jiha that going to the dungeon together would allow Jiha to move more freely. Jiha looks flustered and surprised by the offer, stammering in response. The crowd presses in around the dark-haired swordsman and Jiha, with one person calling out to Hunter Seo. More people try to sway the dark-haired swordsman, suggesting they proceed separately and offering to grant them full authority regarding the dungeon. With a determined expression, the dark-haired swordsman firmly states that they do not need the authority. The dark-haired swordsman smiles at Jiha, declaring it's time to go. Jiha, still a bit surprised, agrees. As they venture into a lush, green dungeon, Jiha remarks on the presence of rare plants in such dungeons. The dark-haired swordsman confirms this, adding that most people pass by without realizing it. The dark-haired swordsman suggests they go deeper, but Jiha quickly interjects, asking them to wait. Jiha reveals a small, white cat-like creature nestled in his backpack, excitedly announcing Biam's presence. Small creature, Biam, stretches contentedly from Jiha's backpack, seemingly settling in for the adventure. Jiha gently pets Biam, explaining to the slightly annoyed dark-haired swordsman that Biam dislikes having his front paws held. The dark-haired swordsman pouts slightly, commenting on Biam's sassy demeanor. As they continue their journey, Biam vocalizes and stretches out of Jiha's backpack. Jiha then calls out for them to wait. Biam, the cat-like creature, now much larger and more leopard-like, gracefully stretches on the ground, revealing its growth. Both Jiha and the dark-haired swordsman crouch to observe the significantly larger Biam. The dark-haired swordsman notes Biam's growth, suggesting he is being well fed. Jiha proudly pets Biam, confirming that Biam's food is quite expensive. Jiha reveals the extent of Biam's luxurious diet, stating it includes valuable items like an ether stone. The dark-haired swordsman declares it's time to get going. Jiha adds, looking at Biam, that Biam also seems ready. As they walk through the vibrant dungeon, the dark-haired swordsman asks Jiha if he saw the news from yesterday. Jiha inquires about which news they are referring to. Jiha looks shocked as the dark-haired swordsman reveals the news about a mythical-level monster called Terradrone. Dark-haired swordsman, perhaps sensing Jiha's shock, hesitantly shares more, revealing that traces of giants were found in the Busan Devil Ant Dungeon. Jiha, still reeling from the news, can only utter giants in disbelief. Jiha's mind races, picturing hands the size of entire buildings, the sheer scale of such a threat. The name Devil Ant Dungeon echoes ominously in his thoughts. The terrifying image of a colossal hand crushing him, a literal representation of his dread, flashes through Jiha's mind. Dark-haired swordsman explains that the dungeon raid was cancelled precisely because of that monstrous hand. Jiha, still processing the revelation of a mythical-level giant, tries to mask his fear with a nervous, almost self-deprecating thought. Jiha reflects on his prior suspicions, realizing this new information confirms his theory. The miniature world is indeed intrinsically linked to the dungeons of the real world. A low, guttural growl rumbles from Growler, its posture tensing as it senses an unseen presence in the lush forest. Noticing Growler's sudden agitation, Jiha asks what's wrong, his expression shifting from calm to concern. The dark-haired swordsman, eyes narrowed with grim determination, orders Jiha to fall back, her hand already instinctively gripping the hilt of her blade. With a sharp clang, the dark-haired swordsman draws her massive blade, taking a defensive stance in front of Jiha and Growler, ready to face whatever threat approaches. Above them, the forest canopy darkens ominously as strange, dark motes begin to descend from the sky, accompanied by an unsettling whoosh. The dark-haired swordsman looks around, her eyes widening as the familiar forest transforms into a twisted, purple-tinged landscape. She mutters, "Wait, this place..." From the corrupted depths of the forest, grotesque, tree-like monsters with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp fangs emerge, letting out a terrifying roar. Another horrifying creature reveals itself, its massive, drooling maw lined with rows of jagged teeth, thorny vines writhing around its form. A sickening gulp sound fills the air. Jiha looks at the dark-haired swordsman, a new realization dawning on him as he softly calls out, "Miss Hyunjin?" The dark-haired swordsman's eyes widen in horror, recognizing the corrupted landscape. This is the very place, she thinks, where Sunghyuk Appa vanished. Jiha stares into the ominous forest, the name Han Sunghyuk, the rank 1 hunter, echoing in his mind. He realizes this place is at least a category rank 5 dungeon, a death trap. One of the grotesque plant monsters lunges forward, its sharp teeth snapping with a wet chomp-chomp as it drips viscous saliva. Gloved hand, belonging to the dark-haired swordsman, carefully pours a glowing essence from a small vial into a larger, crimson potion, the liquid shimmering with power. With a determined expression, the dark-haired swordsman calls out to Jiha, glowing particles swirling around her as she prepares for battle. The dark-haired swordsman stands firm, sword at the ready, instructing Jiha to run towards the dungeon entrance the moment the monsters attack. Her eyes burning with resolve, the dark-haired swordsman declares that she will handle the onslaught of monsters alone. Jiha vehemently protests, arguing that there are too many high-class monsters for her to face alone. He begins to suggest a different plan, but then stops, confused, as he notices something else. Growler, enveloped in a vibrant aura of blue energy, flexes its powerful form, ready for battle. Jiha cries out as Growler, crackling with raw energy, suddenly charges forward, leaving Jiha and the dark-haired swordsman momentarily stunned. Jiha's jaw drops, his face a mask of utter disbelief as he exclaims, "No way!" As Growler streaks past, the monstrous plant creatures shriek in terror, actively retreating from its overwhelming presence. Jiha watches in stunned amazement, wondering, the monsters are running away? Growler pounces with incredible speed, its glowing claws tearing into one of the plant monsters with a decisive slash. With a powerful bite, Growler clamps down on the monster, the blue energy crackling around its jaws as it rips through the creature's tough exterior. The plant monster disintegrates into crumbling, leaf-like fragments, scattering into the air as Growler's attack proves devastating. Growler, a blur of blue energy, rushes past another fleeing plant creature, its speed creating a powerful whoosh as it continues to clear the area. Continuing the intense clear-out, Jiha and the dark-haired swordsman suddenly halt, Jiha's eyes widening in shock at something unseen. Oh my! A small, white, leopard-like creature, Biam, steps softly through the undergrowth, its delicate paws barely rustling the leaves. Jiha kneels down, gently reaching out to the curious Biam, who approaches him without hesitation, as the dark-haired swordsman observes. Biam looks up, a small, dark seed clutched playfully in its mouth, an inquisitive ong, escaping its tiny maw, surrounded by sparkling light. Jiha carefully takes the seed from Biam, a gentle interaction between the two. Jiha, holding the seed, playfully asks Biam, "Why did you bring me this? Do you want me to plant it?" Dark-haired swordsman, observing the area, remarks on the escape of a Venus human trap, expressing her disbelief. "I have never seen anything like this." Jiha, cradling Biam, states with a grave expression that they now face we have another problem. Jiha and the dark-haired swordsman stand with their backs to the viewer, looking into a dark, mysterious forest path, hinting at the next challenge. Dark-haired swordsman firmly instructs Jiha to go back with Boam, Jiha, prompting a surprised "what?" from him. With a determined resolve, the dark-haired swordsman explains that she cannot abandon her search now that she has finally found a trace of the one she seeks, declaring, "I can't just return." Jiha listens intently, his expression unreadable as he processes her unwavering determination. Jiha's hand appears, now holding a glowing yellow potion, as he declares his decision. "Okay then, let's go together." The dark-haired swordsman looks on, her face etched with a surprised "what?" at Jiha's unexpected resolve. Jiha smiles warmly, holding Biam close, acknowledging the danger but asking the dark-haired swordsman, "You will protect us, right?" The dark-haired swordsman confidently affirms she will, accepting the potion from Jiha with a reassuring "of course." From above, Jiha and the dark-haired swordsman proceed deeper into the forest, Biam perched securely on Jiha's shoulder, emitting a soft nang, meow sound. The dark-haired swordsman suddenly calls out, Jiha, wait," halting their advance and prompting a questioning from him. Dark-haired swordsman points ahead, urging Jiha to notice something in the distance, asking, "Do you see that?" A soft, ethereal light emanates from the mouth of a cave, drawing their attention deeper into the mysterious woods. A light is coming out of the cave. Jiha gazes towards the illuminated cave, voicing his hope that the answer is in that cave, as Biam lets out a low grrr. Duo approaches the cave entrance, bathed in the ethereal glow, the forest around them shimmering with light. Jiha, holding a flickering torch, observes the cave entrance, noting that the erosion didn't occur inside the cave. The dark-haired swordsman points deeper into the cave, urgently calling, "Jiha, look," to draw his attention to something unsettling. A finger indicates gruesome traces of blood splattered across the cave walls, confirming a struggle. "There are traces of blood here." The dark-haired swordsman, her face grim, insists let's get moving quickly, to which Jiha readily agrees with a yes. With determined strides, Jiha, the dark-haired swordsman, and Biam venture deeper into the ominous cave, their footsteps echoing softly. Suddenly, the dark-haired swordsman gasps, her eyes wide with a shocked at a gruesome discovery. On the cold cave floor lies a magnificent golden sword, now shattered, its blade broken into 2 pieces, a testament to a fierce battle. Beside the ruined blade, a bloodied, broken helmet confirms a brutal battle, leaving the dark-haired swordsman distraught, uttering, "Seunjhy, just what?" The dark-haired swordsman sobs uncontrollably, clutching the bloodied remnants of the helmet and blade, his grief palpable as Jiha watches on, concerned. Jiha kneels beside the distraught dark-haired swordsman, gently placing a hand on his shoulder, urging him to calm down amidst the glowing embers. Jiha offers a hopeful theory, suggesting that since the blood trails only mark their entrance, perhaps Sunghyuk had healed himself and moved on. The dark-haired swordsman, still tearful, desperately seeks confirmation, clinging to the possibility that his friend is alive. A small, spotted cat-like creature nudges the dark-haired swordsman's leg, its soft meow a gentle presence in the heavy silence. Jiha looks down, startled by the unexpected sound. Both Jiha and the dark-haired swordsman watch as the small creature reveals a glowing, green, egg-shaped object clutched in its mouth. Jiha carefully takes the glowing object, a system notification box appearing to identify it as a symbiote EGG, prompting his surprised question. Jiha ponders the mysterious symbiote egg, recalling a faint memory of its name and resolving to research it once they are safely out of the dungeon. Suddenly, the cat playfully nips Jiha's arm, eliciting a yelp of surprise. The cat looks up with a satisfied, almost smug expression, as if demanding recognition for its actions, surrounded by sparkling praise. Jiha gently pats the cat's head, acknowledging its efforts and affectionately calling it Biam. A relieved smile spreads across Jiha's face as he expresses gratitude for finding traces, convinced that Han Sunghyuk is indeed still alive. The dark-haired swordsman wipes away his remaining tears, a determined resolve replacing his grief as he vows to find Sunghyuk. With renewed hope, the dark-haired swordsman suggests they return, ready to continue their search. As they stand in a lush forest, the dark-haired swordsman expresses profound gratitude to Jiha for his help, who humbly dismisses his own contribution. Dark-haired swordsman insists on Jiha's importance, crediting him for helping them find Sunghyuk's traces. Jiha scratches the back of his head, a little embarrassed but pleased, while the cat in his arms maintains a grumpy expression. The dark-haired swordsman offers his assistance, telling Jiha to call upon him whenever he might need help. As they shake hands, the cat on Jiha's arm seems to echo the sentiment with a fierce, demanding meow, prompting Jiha to readily agree. The cat on Jiha's arm emits a low growl, its grumpy demeanor unchanged. The dark-haired swordsman extends his gratitude to Biam, gently stroking its head, which the cat accepts with a pleased huff. Dark-haired swordsman decides it's time to part ways, while Jiha, holding Biam, adds that he needs to give the cat its snacks. Jiha's thoughts turn to the glowing pouch he holds, reminding himself of the information he still needs to research. Back in his shop, Jiha diligently flips through an old tome, while Biam perches regally atop a stack of books on a nearby shelf. Jiha pores over the ancient text, a faint sense of familiarity nagging at him as he tries to recall where he might have encountered this information before. Biam leisurely stretches on its perch, its tail swishing gently. Suddenly, a cascade of books tumbles from the shelf, startling Jiha. Jiha laughs good-naturedly, a book precariously balanced on his head, as Biam peeks out from behind the fallen stack, a mischievous glint in its eyes. Jiha sighs, acknowledging the book precariously balanced on his head offers no answers, realizing he must seek the solution elsewhere. A cheerful smile, Jiha bids farewell, telling Biam, "I'll see you in my dreams," as the white cat-like creature rests beside a book. Jiha drifts into a deep slumber, his head resting peacefully on his arm, entering the dream world he spoke of. The dreamscape unfolds as a breathtaking, sun-dappled forest, bathed in ethereal light filtering through the verdant canopy. Jiha stands amidst the mystical forest, arms wide, reveling in the utterly refreshing atmosphere, while Biam sits calmly at his feet. Suddenly, Jiha's eyes widen in shock, a look of utter disbelief crossing his face as he exclaims in surprise. Jiha gazes up in astonishment at a colossal, luminous tree, its branches reaching towards the sky, wondering when it grew to such immense proportions, with Biam beside him. Jiha reaches out, his hand hovering near a branch laden with glowing, golden fruit, as a system notification identifies them as the fruit of the world tree. Jiha's surprise deepens as he confirms the glowing fruit is indeed from the world tree, realizing the immense significance of his discovery. Jiha's expression shifts to one of alert surprise, his eyes wide as an unexpected sound draws his attention. Jiha looks down at a cluster of small, armored pterodrone knights, offering them a friendly greeting while Biam observes intently beside him. Jiha settles against the world tree's trunk, surrounded by the curious pterodrone knights and Biam, preparing to share something with them. Jiha holds up a glowing fruit from the world tree, presenting it to the small creatures and asking if they recognize the mysterious item. One of the larger Pterodrone knights, with its distinctive trident-like horn, looks up with a wide-eyed, slightly bewildered expression. Jiha smiles broadly, a look of pleasant surprise on his face, as he responds to an unseen communication from the creatures. System prompt appears, revealing that a Pterodrone knight is offering to hatch a symbiote egg, presenting Jiha with the choice to accept or decline. Jiha readily accepts the offer, his hand meeting the Pterodrone knight's as it prepares to take the glowing symbiote egg, confirming his decision. The lead Pterodrone knight commands its smaller counterparts to charge to the front as they gather around the glowing egg, while Jiha watches with a satisfied smile. Jiha sits relaxed with Biam under the world tree, observing the diligent Pterodrone knights working on the symbiote egg, remarking on their dependability. The lead Pterodrone knight oversees the operation from a raised platform surrounded by shimmering golden crystals as its smaller counterparts diligently transport more resources. The Pterodrone knight hovers directly above the pulsating, glowing egg, a visible hum of energy emanating from the hatching process. Pterodrone knight's claw gently taps the surface of the glowing egg, imbuing it with a surge of energy. The symbiote egg glows with increasing intensity, surrounded by a multitude of Pterodrone knights as the hatching process reaches its climax on the crystal-laden platform. A brilliant golden light erupts from the symbiote egg, radiating outwards and illuminating the vast pile of golden crystals surrounding it. Pterodrone knight and the symbiote egg are enveloped in a swirling vortex of radiant golden energy, signaling a powerful transformation. Jiha gently pets Biam, who purrs contentedly, feeling pleased with the outcome of the hatching. Jiha looks up in surprise, holding Biam, who also appears startled as something unexpected catches their attention. Jiha holds Biam tightly, both looking up in bewildered shock as he questions the strange phenomenon unfolding above them. Jiha stares in awe and alarm as a massive, ancient chain descends from the towering world tree, prompting an exclamation of surprise. A majestic, humanoid butterfly-like creature with resplendent golden wings ascends into the heavens, surrounded by countless small Pterodrone knights, a magnificent new entity born from the world tree's power. Jiha gazes up, cradling his feline companion, a question forming in his mind about the majestic entity. Is that a symbiote? The luminous butterfly-like creature, born from the world tree's power, continues its majestic ascent, bathed in brilliant golden light. Golden energy cascades down from the heavens, enveloping the gargantuan world tree and the astonished Jiha standing beneath it. Sky shimmers with ethereal light as the world tree's restorative power spreads, revitalizing the surrounding nature. Jiha looks up in utter amazement as system notifications declare the awakening of sleeping symbiotes and the commencement of the world tree's restoration. He exclaims, "Whoa!" The world tree pulses with dazzling energy, a magnificent spiral of light illuminating the sky as its restoration progresses. The world tree's transformation culminates, a system notification confirming its complete restoration, radiating immense power. Leaning against the now vibrant world tree, Jiha expresses his relief, thinking, "It's such a relief that it's healthy now." Suddenly, Jiha is startled, a shimmering aura surrounding him as he questions, "Huh?" Bathed in a radiant, multicolored blessing from the world tree, Jiha receives a system notification. Your dormant destiny has been awakened, bestowing upon him the new class of world tree's worker. Jiha and his feline companion stroll through the revitalized forest, now enchanted with glowing, fruit-bearing trees. Jiha looks up in awe at the luminous fruits hanging from the trees, exclaiming, "Whoa!" As a fish leaps from the crystal-clear stream, Jiha's cat pounces, prompting Jiha to exclaim in disbelief, "No way." Jiha gestures in astonishment, realizing the forest has expanded significantly, asking aloud, "The forest got much wider." System notification reveals the solar apple has reached level 2, prompting Jiha to realize, oh, the fruit leveled up too. A wide grin spreads across Jiha's face as he calculates the benefits, realizing he can now produce double the amount of potions. Then, momentarily lost in a fantasy of immense wealth from potion sales, Jiha shakes his head, asserting, I wasn't hoping for money in the first place. He then considers, there must be a reason why the world tree is giving me this chance. Facing the magnificent world tree, Jiha contemplates his new purpose, thinking, dormant destiny. Restoring the world together with the world tree may be my fate. Jiha's cat interrupts his profound thoughts with an insistent meow, clearly demanding attention and food. Jiha smiles warmly at his hungry companion, asking, "Are you hungry?" Jiha kneels down, rummaging through his backpack, his feline friend watching intently, anticipating a meal. Holding up a fishing rod with a flourish, Jiha proudly announces, "Today's lunch is red trout," as his cat leaps with excitement. Jiha concentrates intently on his fishing line, his cat patiently waiting by his side as they enjoy the serene moment. The powerful tug, Jiha exclaims, got it, as a colossal, glowing fish is hooked, pulling him along with immense force. Jiha beams with satisfaction, holding up 2 impressive fish, while his cat excitedly mimics his triumph. Jiha looks puzzled as a system notification appears, prompting him to question, this is? System reveals the red trout grants extrasensory perception LV1, increasing all senses and reflexes by 20% for 30 minutes. Jiha muses, the item description didn't originally explain in detail. Jiha carefully places the fish into his backpack, stating, let's confirm with other items too, as his cat playfully bats at another catch. Jiha holds up his dimensional pouch, noticing a new system description. You can store items without damaging them. This also applies when entering another dimension. He questions, has the description for the dimensional pouch been added as well? Satisfied smile spreads across Jiha's face as he realizes, with this, I won't need to explain the potion effects several times in the future. With a burst of excitement, Jiha lifts Beam into the air, calling out, Beam, come here. The small creature, still clutching a fish, looks up at him. Jiha sprints through the forest, Beam tucked under his arm, his mind racing with a brilliant new plan. Let's quickly return to the store. I've got a great idea, he thinks. Next day, Jiha's shop is utterly swarmed. A massive queue of people stretches down the street, all eagerly waiting outside the unassuming storefront. 2 hunters observe the unprecedented crowd, one remarking, all the hunters in Seoul have gathered? The other wonders aloud, did a rank 1 dungeon open or something? Amidst the bustling line, Beam, the adorable leopard-like creature, dutifully trots along, a numbered ticket in its mouth, ready to distribute them. Female customer kneels down, gratefully accepting a ticket from Beam, expressing her thanks for the efficient system. In the queue, the scared brown-haired man is startled as another male hunter taps his shoulder, asking, what are you doing here? The scared brown-haired man responds with a surprised, what? The scared brown-haired man gestures towards the shop, explaining, what do you think? We're waiting to buy potions. Although I don't know if my turn will come today. The other hunter questions, potions? Jiha adjusts a chalkboard sign, which clearly states the new rules. Max of 3 bottles of potion per person. Get your number ticket from Beam. The scared brown-haired man remarks to his friend, you don't know anything, do you? The details of Jiha's exceptional potions are displayed. A paralysis potion increasing resistance by 35% for 30 minutes, and a special health potion recovering 22% of maximum health over 13 seconds. The scared brown-haired man continues to explain the shop's popularity, saying, the potions made by the owner in this place taste good and even have excellent effects, so even hunters from the countryside come to get them. His companion adds, it's even cheap. Beam, unbothered, strolls past a frustrated male customer who clutches his head, exclaiming, Ack, why does it have to be in front of me? While another female customer smiles at the sight. Inside the shop, Jiha leans over the counter, affectionately petting Beam as the creature jumps up, letting out a soft, nya. Jiha praises, Beam, you've worked hard. The shop bustles with activity as numerous customers, baskets filled with potions, move through the aisles. Jiha reflects, even though all I can do is craft good potions, I'm going to use this ability bestowed upon me by the World Tree. Jiha's face glows with determination and a gentle smile as he concludes his thought, for everyone's sake. At the counter, Jiha efficiently serves a customer, wishing them take care before calling out next as Beam watches from its perch. The shop door chimes open, revealing a cheerful blonde-haired male friend waving enthusiastically and calling out, Jiha. Jiha greets his friend, you're here? As the blonde-haired male friend, holding 2 potions, expresses his surprise, why are there so many people? The blonde-haired male friend holds up a paper to Jiha, asking, did you see this? Jiha, curious, responds, what is it? As Beam observes from the counter. The blonde-haired male friend reveals his phone, displaying a hunter net search. He explains, you were going on about a sanctuary and whatnot, so I looked just in case, but it turned out to be your store, huh? Jiha scratches his head, a sheepish smile spreading across his face as he laughs. I guess, ha 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 ha. The blonde-haired male friend playfully teases Jiha. Oh ho, do I have to get a number ticket to meet you now too? Jiha reassures him, of course not. Members of Happy Hunters are always welcome. Blonde-haired male friend examines a potion with a detailed label. Surprised. Is what's written here true? It's my first time seeing the effects written so precisely like this. Jiha confirms, holding a potion, yes. I asked the people who used it and they said it's true. His friend listens intently. The blonde-haired male friend looks up in awe, holding the glowing potion aloft. Wow. If that's the case, the performance is really incomparable to potions from other stores. The blonde-haired male friend, eager for more, tries to negotiate. I'm a regular. Could you let me buy 1 more? Jiha shakes his head firmly, stating, no can do. Jiha turns, gesturing with his hands. In return, he begins as the blonde-haired male friend leans forward in anticipation, asking, "What is it? What is it?" Jiha smiles, holding out a rolled-up scroll. "Service," he announces, presenting his unique offering. The blonde-haired male friend takes the scroll, scrutinizing it. The scroll somehow looks sloppy, but the writing is amazing. "What are the effects?" Jiha smiles confidently, looking at his friend. "It's a charm that brings good luck." Jiha's words manifest, and a system notification confirms the activation of the Scroll of Creation. Wish. It explicitly states, "Your little wish will come true with 2 uses remaining." The scared brown-haired girl, holding the scroll, expresses her apprehension about using it for the first time, yet quickly dismisses her worries. With eager anticipation, she declares her wish, a rare old book. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a chaotic dungeon battle. A party of adventurers, including the dark-haired swordsman, is under siege by a monstrous purple dragon. One of the armored companions shouts in exasperation, questioning why such a large creature is causing so much trouble. The fierce battle cry, one of the warriors unleashes a powerful sword strike, cleaving through the air towards the monstrous dragon. The force of the attack sends the purple dragon-like creature reeling, its body flung backward through the air. The scared brown-haired girl looks up in utter shock as the defeated creature plummets directly towards her. The creature crashes down, pinning the scared brown-haired girl beneath it. With a groan of despair, she fears for her life. The white-haired adventurer, realizing his mistake, quickly offers an apology to the now flattened scared brown-haired girl. The other adventurers quickly gather around the fallen, scared brown-haired girl. One companion questions the white-haired warrior's fighting style, asking why he even carries a sword if he just beats monsters to death. The white-haired adventurer retorts, expressing surprise that the creature would fly away. Another asks the scared brown-haired girl if she is all right. Scared brown-haired girl, still dazed and holding her book, weakly responds that she is fine. A radiant glow emanates from a scroll tucked away in a pocket, hinting at its magical properties. The system reiterates the Scroll of Creation wish functionality, confirming that wishes come true. A new notification appears, revealing a bonus effect. If you experience a small misfortune, the chance of obtaining special items increases by 70% for 30 minutes, with 1 use remaining. Above the group, a swirling golden magical pattern manifests, catching the attention of the scared brown-haired girl, who looks up in utter confusion. The ground violently shakes beneath them, causing the adventurers to lose their footing and fall. One exclaims in panic, while another questions if it's an earthquake. The ground gives way, plunging the entire party into a deep chasm. The scared brown-haired girl screams in terror, clutching her book, desperately pleading for help. They land hard on a stone floor, battered but alive. The white-haired adventurer declares that they won't perish from such a simple trap. Meanwhile, the scared brown-haired girl laments the repeated misfortunes befalling them. Looking up at the jagged edges of the pit, one of the male adventurers observes that this doesn't appear to be a deliberately constructed trap. The female mage-like adventurer extends her hand, activating the skill Guide of Light as brilliant energy radiates from her palm. Luminous butterfly of pure light ascends from the mage's hand, gracefully illuminating the cavernous space and guiding the adventurer's gaze upwards. The light reveals a hidden chamber, an ancient armory brimming with gleaming weapons, pristine armor, and vast piles of shimmering gold. The adventurers exclaim in awe at the sight. The white-haired adventurer eagerly picks up a longsword, recognizing it as the legendary Knight Troop longsword. The gray-haired male merchant examines a piece of armor with a wide grin, marveling that the area appears to be a secret hideout. Scared brown-haired girl stares intently at the pattern on her book, a realization dawning on her. She gasps, recognizing it as the insignia of the Black Lion Knight Troop of the Gemarch Empire. Overjoyed, the scared brown-haired girl triumphantly hoists her book high, exclaiming that her wish has truly come true. The gray-haired male merchant hushes the group, warning them that the place might collapse again. He urges them to quickly grab what they need and make a swift exit. With a grunt of effort, the white-haired adventurer pulls the gray-haired male merchant up and out of the treacherous pit. As the adventurers climb out, the gray-haired male merchant expresses his frustration at falling into danger immediately after finding items. Another stern voice commands them to stop fussing. The gray-haired male merchant then suggests they retreat as a precaution. The gray-haired male merchant repeats his suggestion to retreat as a precaution, to which the white-haired adventurer readily agrees, stating it would be for the best. Suddenly, the mage-like adventurer points ahead with a shocked expression, drawing the group's attention to something unseen. A terrifying sight greets them, a colossal swarm of identical purple dragon-like creatures, eyes glowing menacingly, charging relentlessly towards their position. Panic erupts as a terrifying sight greets them. A colossal swarm of identical purple dragon-like creatures, eyes glowing menacingly, charging relentlessly towards their position. Run! Jiha screams, urging everyone to flee. Jiha's eyes widen in terror, gasping, what is that? A monstrous creature, a grotesque fusion of a crab and a dragon, erupts from the ground, its eyes burning with malevolent red light. Jiha lets out a desperate scream, ARDH. The dark-haired swordsman intercepts an attack, grunting in pain as he's pushed back. Again, he cries out, while another figure calls out, "Honey!" The ground trembles and shakes violently as unseen forces wreak havoc. Trapped and terrified, Jiha cries out, "God Arctis, please save me." Clutching a large book, he pleads, "I don't want to die here." Tears stream down Jiha's face as he whispers, "Please." Confusion washes over two armored figures as they react to an unexpected event, murmuring, "Eh." The armored companions look on in shock, witnessing something extraordinary unfold before them. Blinding flash of light erupts from the center, engulfing the group. Emerging from the light, the group looks bewildered. Jiha exclaims, "Wha?" The scene shifts to a grand, ancient structure in a desolate landscape under a clear blue sky. A panoramic view reveals a sprawling desert with majestic, yet ruined, architecture catching the sunlight. A voice wonders, what in the world is going on? Jiha is seen relaxing in a forest clearing, a unique snow leopard-like creature draped over his shoulders. Nearby, a small, monstrous creature emerges from the ground. Jiha smiles, petting the creature and remarking, "Thanks to the earthworms, the land has become very fertile." The snow leopard chirps, "Meow." The snow leopard playfully dives into Jiha's backpack, prompting him to ask, "What should I plant here?" The snow leopard pops its head out of the backpack, holding a peculiar dark object in its mouth, startling Jiha with a curious, "Eh?" A monstrous, plant-like entity with a gaping maw looms above. Jiha, pointing at the object the snow leopard holds, asks the creature, "You want to plant this?" The snow leopard replies, "Terror." Jiha looks concerned, muttering, "This looks a bit dangerous though?" As the snow leopard scratches the ground, a strange energy emanates. Snow leopard sits contentedly, letting out a happy meow as it looks at a pile of dirt. Jiha, with a cheerful smile, agrees, all right. Since you got this seed, I should let you do whatever you want with it." Jiha extends his hand to the snow leopard, which touches it with its paw. Jiha asks, "Satisfied now?" The snow leopard chirps, "Nya." Potted plant with blooming yellow flowers is shown, a serene scene outside a window where Jiha and the snow leopard sit together. Jiha looks towards his shop, a rustic log cabin, and wonders aloud, "Did someone come to the store? Even though we're closed." Jiha joyfully lifts the snow leopard into the air, asking, "Shall we go to the store?" The snow leopard enthusiastically responds, "Nyaa." Inside the shop, Jiha gently cleans the dirt off the snow leopard, remarking, "You're all covered in dirt. Here." Jiha looks surprised, a hint of confusion on his face as the snow leopard stares with wide eyes. Through the window, Jiha sees his companions, Jiha, and the others waving excitedly. One calls out, "Jiha SSI. Standing on the balcony of his shop, Jiha observes his companions gathered at the entrance, their expressions unreadable. He wonders, what's up with everyone's look? Jiha is pulled back forcefully by his companions as the red-haired female customer confronts him, accusing, "Oh, you fraud. You said it was a talisman of luck." Jiha is pulled back forcefully by his companions as the red-haired female customer confronts him, accusing, "Fraud. You said it was a talisman of luck." Jiha, with a strained smile, asks, "Ha, would you like to get inside and wash up first?" The dark-haired swordsman, slumped in a chair, sighs in relief, "Achu, I think I can live now." Meanwhile, a cat stretches lazily on the floor, and Jiha comments, "What a cute cat." "Hi?" Jiha surveys the scene, bewildered. What in the world happened? Blonde-haired companion explains their ordeal. "Don't get me started. We entered the Viper dungeon, but earthworms suddenly appeared and destroyed the dungeon entirely." The dark-haired swordsman interjects, "Don't tell me. Was that the price of the scroll of creation?" A voice from within the armor states, "It's a relief that we found some kind of secret hideout." Another voice adds, "We almost ended up wasting our time." Jiha gasps, "The Night Troop's secret hideout?" Jiha explains, "There was a secret hideout of the Black Lion Night Troop at the beginning of the dungeon." The blonde-haired companion asks, "By any chance, are you talking about the Black Lion Night Troop of the Gamark Empire?" Jiha states, "Yeah, and I've got something that would make you lose your mind." With a flourish, Jiha reveals a magnificent, ornate book. "Tada! This is Night Troop Commander's logbook," Jiha exclaims, while the blonde-haired companion cries out, "Who?" The blonde-haired companion examines the logbook, but it's all in ancient language, so I couldn't read almost everything. She then reads from a separate text. Monsters that appeared in the Estrom Kingdom began to cross the border. The blonde-haired companion looks at Jiha in disbelief. You can read this? Jiha confidently replies, yes, of course. Jiha asks, then you should know what this is too? The blonde-haired companion exclaims in shock, the Gehenna Continental Map. Huh? Jiha asks, F for real? The blonde-haired companion confirms, yes, I'm sure of it. Jiha mutters, wait, with this? Jiha calls out, Nuna. The other person replies, yes? Jiha asks, could you lend me this just for a few days? Jiha declares, I'll give you all of this. Blonde-haired companion is stunned. All of this? Jiha confirms, yes. The dark-haired swordsman urges, lend it to him. You must lend it to him. The blonde-haired companion exclaims, amazing. Jiha asks, Tio, think you'd enjoy it this much? Then, would you like to receive additional potions for a month? The others eagerly agree. Agreed. Jiha bids farewell. Take care. Jiha states, I've got a lot of things to do all of a sudden. If I want to prepare for business and read the Night Troop Commander's logbook. Jiha holds the cat, asking, you're sleepy, aren't you? Shall we go back? Jiha says, I can make the potions after going over to the garden. He then asks, shall we check out the map that Sunyoung Nuna got first? Jiha explains, since it's a map that the night troop of the Empire was using, the quality is different. He elaborates, even the terrain, names of places, and monsters that appear are written in detail. Jiha reads from the map. The Elder Lich that appeared in Urisan came from the southern part of the Estrom Palace, and the monster forest that Hyunjin SSI and I went to was near Mount Apito. Jiha adjusts his glasses, lost in thought. If only this map were complete, he could pinpoint the exact locations of the monster dungeons. Suddenly, Jiha's eyes widen in surprise as a white, spotted creature resembling a cat appears. Jiha reaches out to pet the creature, deciding, let's ask the Terradrone. They must know something. The day's work finally catches up to Jiha, and he slumps over, fast asleep. Sudden burst of light illuminates a towering ancient tree in a mystical forest. Jiha, now awake, throws his fist in the air with a triumphant cry. The playful creature Jiha encountered earlier leaps towards him with a loud yowl, startling him. Jiha looks around, confused, asking the creature, but where did the Terradrone go? A system alert flashes. Warning, a strong monster has appeared. The nearby flowers tremble. Jiha stands outside a small cabin in the woods, looking towards the tree line. He asks, is it there? A colossal cyclops, its single eye burning with malevolence, emerges from the shadows, surrounded by smaller winged creatures. Jiha stares in disbelief at the monstrous figure. A cyclops, he exclaims. System text reveals, a disaster-grade monster that first appeared in China. The cyclops' immense power is palpable as it unleashes a devastating attack. Cyclops swings its massive club, radiating a dark aura. A voice notes, a cyclops has never appeared in our country, though. Jiha turns to the creature beside him, asking, shouldn't you help out if a monster of that caliber appears? Peeking from behind rocks, numerous Terradrone creatures are visible. Jiha muses, judging by how the mission status window isn't popping up, are the Terradrone taking care of it themselves? Jiha begins to meticulously record the Cyclops' characteristics in a large tome, deciding it's best to write them down. The Terradrone swarm charges, their segmented bodies and armor creating a formidable wave. The Cyclops unleashes a furious attack, its single eye glowing red as it clashes with an unseen force. Close-up reveals the Cyclops' terrifying, glowing red eye, radiating immense power. The Cyclops' eye intensifies, surrounded by dark, pulsing energy. Jiha shouts a warning, his eyes wide with alarm. Watch out! A blinding beam of red energy strikes the Cyclops directly in its eye, causing it to scream in agony. The force of the impact sends the Cyclops flying backward, its body contorting from the immense power. Terradrone, witnessing the Cyclops' struggle, comment, it's an overwhelming gap. They observe, at this rate, the Terradrone. A large Terradrone, surrounded by its kin, asks, do they have a plan? The Terradrone reveal their strategy. They are using their pincers to break apart large, glowing ether stones. Numerous shards of ether stone erupt, glowing intensely as the Terradrone work with precision. Terradrone exclaims in shock. They cut the ether stones with their pincers. To think they'd create shields out of ether stones. The Cyclops' red eye glows ominously, surrounded by dark energy as it prepares for another onslaught. The Cyclops roars, channeling immense power into its attack, its body engulfed in a crimson aura. They're directly getting in contact with the light beam. The The dark-haired swordsman's attack pierces through the Cyclops' defenses, striking true. Grah. Amazing. When dealing with a Cyclops, the core strategy is to deflect its light rays with a shield made out of ether stones. The Cyclops army advances. Growling. Cyclops' attack connects. The Cyclops' massive fist slams down. The Cyclops is struck down. They did it. They defeated a Cyclops. Jiha observes the swarm of Cyclopes-like creatures. The Cyclops commander stands tall, shielded by its subordinates. You guys were really cool. I should give you a reward since you worked hard. Jiha presents a pile of ether stones. You should take all the ether stones too. Huh? An alarm? What is all this? Something that I've never seen in Mirwiki is appearing? The red-haired female customer interacts with the computer. 10 essence? Cyclops core strategy. You need less than 10 essence to view this information. Would you like to view it? Yes/no. When did this kind of system appear? It's only 10 essence. I can gather it in no time just by going around a few dungeons. Oh, it swings a club with one eye. Oh, light beams shooting out of its eye. So? The red-haired female customer clicks furiously. Need less than 10 essence to view the final strategy for Cyclops. Would you like to view it? Yes/no. This damned bastard who put up this post. I'll make sure to catch you. I'm gonna burn you to a crisp. What is this ominous feeling? Two men in sharp suits exit a luxury car, standing before a modern office building. One man asks, "Is there an event that I don't know about today?" The other replies, "No." A massive crowd of people fills the lobby of a building. One man asks, "But why are hunters gathered here?" The man checking his phone explains, that this was posted yesterday. He elaborates, "Yes, it requires 10 essence to view it, but you must pay another 10 essence to see the final strategy." Another voice chimes in, "Even just 10 essences increases the stats significantly." Below, the crowd is visible, and someone wonders what kind of hunter would have gathered 20 essence. Voice from the crowd explains, "That's why they've been gathering like that since dawn." Another adds, "I don't know who the author is, but his writing is amazing." A monstrous Cyclops roars. "A Cyclops dungeon has never appeared in this country before, right?" The other man replies, "Since a Cyclops is at least level 6, it will not be easy to clear it unofficially." The first man muses, "That's true, but there are rumors that a dungeon buff would be given too." Then, a surprised exclamation, "It really opened." Holographic map displays several monster faces. A voice commands, "Go up and call the intelligence team and the emergency operations center." In a conference room, a presenter states, "Since it is impossible to access the MIR-Wiki server itself, it's safe to assume that there's no possibility of foreign intervention." A man in a suit asks, "So we can't even track the essence paid to MIR-Wiki?" Another replies, "Yes, it is assumed that it automatically belongs to the system provided to hunters." Someone reports, "The test results just came out, and just as rumored, hunters who read the final strategy received a buff." Another sighs, "This is giving me a headache." A man states, "The Emergency Operations Center needs to put up a list of hunters who've signed up for the mission and monitor them in real time. The hunter's safety is our top priority." Another responds, "Yes." A group of armored warriors stand ready, one asking, "Will it really work with this lineup?" A woman with red hair says, "There's really no need to drag me to battle." Another voice says, "My essence is all gone." Then, a determined voice asks, "Shall we get going then?" Commander instructs, "Tanks, please stand by until it's time to use the reflective shield according to the strategy." Another voice adds, "Hunter Kyungbeek and I will enter immediately after the attack is successful." One warrior says, "I'll leave it to Hunter Cha to finish it up." Another reassures, "Don't worry." A system notification appears, "Cyclops attack buff, attack power plus 15%, critical attack plus 15%. The red-haired woman declares, "I'll grill it to a crisp." The Cyclops unleashes a devastating beam of energy from its eye, engulfing the area in a blinding red light. Warrior braces themselves behind a large shield, the impact of the Cyclops attack reverberating through their body. A powerful sword strike erupts with blinding light, shattering the Cyclops attack and sending out waves of energy. The red-haired woman unleashes a fiery attack, incinerating a massive rock and sending shockwaves through the battlefield. On a television screen, a scene plays out showing the successful conclusion of the Cyclops dungeon raid. Jiha, watching with his cat, exclaims, "Hyunjin SSI and Wayan SSI are both wonderful." Two officials stand at a podium, addressing an unseen audience. One states, "In accordance with the Hunter Management Bureau guidelines, the strategy posted on MIR Wiki will be shared free of charge with other countries." Jiha smiles, looking at a system interface that shows total essence in possession, 5,175. He thinks, with this, I've confirmed that if I record a strategy in the infinite spellbook, it'll be uploaded to MIR Wiki. He continues his thought process, observing a series of icons depicting battles and strategy recording. If I share the Terradrone's attack strategy to MIR Wiki, I won't run out of essence or netherstones in the future. Jiha sits at a table, his cat beside him. He looks up, a hint of concern on his face, asking, is there another monster again? Jiha struggles playfully with his cat, Biam, who seems less than thrilled about the quick exit. Let's hurry, Biam, Jiha exclaims, a frantic energy in his voice as the cat lets out a defiant Naya. Suddenly, Jiha finds himself standing on a sandy shore, the cat held securely in his arms. He looks out at the horizon, a dawning realization on his face. This is... Water before him shimmers with an unnatural light. The sea. Jiha surveys the scene. In the distance, a small island is visible, with a group of figures gathered on the shore. A faint, glowing symbol hovers over the water. As Jiha reaches out a hand, a peculiar, insect-like creature materializes before him, hovering mid-air. Jiha, holding Biam, smiles brightly, extending his other hand towards the creature. A system notification appears. The wounded World Eater needs your help. Jiha looks confused, holding Biam close. World Eater? Where is that? He questions, glancing around. The mechanical insect hovers near Jiha's face. Is it underground? Jiha asks, his brow furrowed with concern. Jiha looks down, following the insect's movement. Where? Inside this hole? Jiha's eyes widen in surprise as he looks towards something off-panel. Biam peeks out from his arms, equally curious. A blast of blue energy erupts, engulfing Jiha and Biam. The mechanical insect dodges the blast from above. Jiha stumbles back, surprised, as Biam leaps from his arms. Below, Jiha is seen again, now holding the mechanical insect, which shakes off water. Jiha looks down at the sea, a growing suspicion on his face. Don't tell me, is World Eater? A massive, glowing form emerges from the water. A whale? Jiha, now standing beside the colossal whale, looks up in awe. Biam sits beside him, gazing at the magnificent creature. So you're World Eater. Jiha raises a hand towards the whale. I can feel its energy weakening. Jiha holds out his cupped hands, filled with shimmering golden crystals. So there was a reason why this much essence is coming to me. He looks at the crystals, a hopeful expression on his face. This should be enough to make it healthy, right? A close-up reveals a massive, brown, spherical eye, its surface rippling. Jiha, standing in the water, looks at the whale with alarm. What's wrong? The whale's massive mouth opens wide, revealing its interior. Jiha cries out in pain as he's pulled into the whale's mouth, clutching his head. The scene shifts to a bright, ethereal sky. Small, light-colored objects float in the distance. Jiha and Biam lie on their backs, looking dazed, with swirling patterns around their heads. Oh my god! A system notification appears. Thanks to your help, the World Eater has returned to its original form. Jiha looks up, relieved, holding his hand out. What a relief, World Eater. Jiha looks around, feeling disoriented. I'm dizzy, he mutters. Someone off-panel asks, huh? The whale, now smaller and more adorable, swims playfully in the shallow water, surrounded by sparkling light. Jiha, still in the water, excitedly hugs the whale. Ag, so cute, he exclaims, burying his face in its side. Biam watches from the shore. Jiha continues to hug the whale, reveling in its softness. It's so soft here. Jiha playfully asks his cat, right, Biam? Jiha looks out at the water, wondering, why is it coming back? Massive, glowing whale breaches the water's surface with a mighty splash. Whoa! Jiha is startled by the sudden spray, shielding himself as the whale's tail splashes nearby. His cat hisses in surprise. Jiha exclaims in shock, huh? What is all that? Bounty of fresh seafood, fish, scallops, and shrimp is presented, glistening. Jiha stands amidst a pile of seafood, looking bewildered as a small, whale-like creature emerges from the water. Are you giving all of this to me? Jiha collects the seafood, while his cat proudly carries a fish in its mouth on the beach. Thank you, I'll enjoy them. Jiha waves goodbye to the departing whale creature. His cat sits patiently, fish in mouth. Jiha smiles warmly, waving, let's reunite in good health. A news anchor, looking concerned, announces breaking news. A news report states, on the southern coast of the Korean peninsula, multiple helicopters hover over the water at night, their searchlights illuminating the choppy waves. A massive explosion erupts from the water, revealing the colossal tentacles of a sea monster. The monstrous tentacles lash out, smashing into a building near the shore. Colossal sea monster's head emerges from the water, its eyes glowing menacingly. Civilians flee in terror, screaming, "Run away!" A soldier, witnessing the terrifying creature, exclaims, "Damn it, are the hunters not here yet?" Two soldiers react with alarm. One shouts, "Captain, there," while the other stammers, what's that?" A colossal, dark shape looms over the scene, dwarfing everything. A small tentacle is visible near its massive maw. The soldiers stare in horror at the immense creature. One cries out, "UGH," while the other gasps, "It's so enormous. Don't tell me, destruction grade." Giant octopus-like monster surfaces amidst the waves, its expression one of surprise. A blinding light emanates from above as the colossal creature is struck by an unseen force. The creature is engulfed in a powerful energy, its tentacles flailing. Sea monster recoils from the immense impact, its body contorting. Several large, whale-like creatures swim in formation, their expressions placid. A single whale creature swims near the coast, while two men in a control room observe monitors. One man asks, "So, that giant whale is actually a demigod who made a contract with the first awakened person?" The other replies, "Yes, it's almost identical to the description of the demigod's appearance in the records." The first man considers, "We'll have to look over it a bit more, but it's said that sea monsters roaming the seas around the Korean peninsula have now been pushed out to southern Japan." The second man looks down, troubled, murmuring, "What in the world is going on?" Back in a cozy room, Jiha and another person sit at a table, papers spread out. Jiha's cat lounges contentedly on a nearby couch. In a cozy room, Jiha and another person sit at a table with papers spread out. Jiha's cat lounges on a nearby couch. "Oh, is this the Estram Kingdom's map?" Jiha asks, pointing to the documents. The other person replies, "It only extends from near the kingdom to near the Tales River." They add, "It's made only with reference to the Knight Commander's logbook, so it's not perfect." Suddenly, the scene shifts to a group of Pterodrone creatures on a hill. One larger Pterodrone, holding a flag, exclaims, "Haha, of course not." It clarifies the Pterodrones are the ones who went there themselves. Meanwhile, back in the room, the other person muses, "Even all the roads are drawn?" The scene returns to Jiha and the other person. Jiha stretches with a yawn, letting out a loud egg. Jiha, looking concerned, asks, "But why are you working so hard to restore the map?" She continues, "You're too passionate for it to be a hobby, though." Jiha holds up a piece of paper, a hopeful expression on his face. "I was wondering if it could be of help to someone," he says. The scene shifts dramatically to a dark, starry background. A figure in armor stands, and a voice declares, "Han Sung-hyuk." The armored figure walks towards a blinding light in the distance. A voice states, "He's certainly alive somewhere in Gehenna." Scene shows the armored figure fallen, their sword glinting. A voice says, "With effective use of the abilities that the world gave me, I can definitely find him." Back in the room, Jiha looks surprised and exclaims, "Oh ho, that someone seems to be a woman." The other person quickly interjects, "NNO." Jiha stands up from the table, saying, "Why, I'll have to go home and get some sleep. I'm leaving early in the morning tomorrow." The other person simply replies, "Sure." Jiha gestures enthusiastically, "You should all stop by the store to take the potions before business hours." He explains, "You said it's a rank 3 dungeon, so I've put a lot of potions that adds resistance." The other person responds, "All right, thank you as always." Jiha waves goodbye from outside the window, calling out, "See you tomorrow. Tell me if you get a girlfriend too." The other person, still inside, calls back, "Ah, really?" Jiha pauses at the door, looking thoughtful. "But still, we gathered data more quickly thanks to Sun Young Nuna. I even discovered one more rune word," he says. Jiha looks down at a large, ornate book placed on a table. A system notification appears, "Scroll of Change, Pursuit. It will find their trace. You can find a living being's trace and confirm their location." Jiha, holding a golden shard, looks at the open book. A montage of images shows a woman with dark hair in various determined poses. Jiha's eyes glow intensely, a powerful energy radiating from them. A blinding flash of blue and white light erupts, filling the screen. A figure in armor, with a red cape flowing, is bathed in the intense light, seemingly transported. Jiha looks at the papers, amazed. "Whoa, not only the location, it's really clearly showing me the energy they carry. There will be a lot of use for this." Jiha's cat playfully jumps onto the table, looking at him expectantly. Jiha picks up his cat, hugging it close. "Sorry, it was noisy, wasn't it?" he asks, eliciting a purring sound from the cat. Jiha embraces his cat, both looking happy. "Let's go over to the garden and have dinner," he suggests. Jiha and his cat are now by a clear stream in a lush forest. "Whoa, the water got clearer?" Jiha exclaims, kneeling by the water's edge. Jiha holds a small fish in his cupped hands, observing it closely. "Is it thanks to World Eater?" he wonders. A glowing yellow apple appears, labeled Solar Apple LV3. Jiha exclaims, the fruit level also increased by 1, so the effect must be even better. Suddenly, a massive swarm of pterodrone creatures appears in the forest. Jiha and his cat arrive, with Jiha shouting, "We're here." Jiha, accompanied by his cat, approaches the pterodrone leader. He apologizes. "Sorry, I was a bit late as I was reading books." Jiha faces a vast army of pterodrone creatures, each holding an apple. The leader stands ready. Jiha kneels down, pointing at the leader of the pterodrone army. "Everyone did a great job," he praises. Jiha looks over, startled, as a small, beetle-like creature perches on his shoulder. "What's up? Is something the matter?" he asks. The beetle-like creature, hovering in the air, seems to be pointing towards a massive tree. "You want me to climb it?" Jiha questions, his gaze following. Jiha is shown struggling to climb the tree, his body awkwardly flailing. He calls out, "Using the body isn't my expertise." With immense effort, Jiha pulls himself up another section of the tree. "Just a bit more," he grunts, straining. Jiha pauses, a confused look on his face. "Huh?" he exclaims. He looks up, his eyes widening in recognition. "Is that Mount Apido?" he murmurs, the name sounding familiar. Jiha, still on the tree, looks down at the beetle creature. So the Gehenna continent was really outside the garden, he ponders aloud. Jiha looks around, a white, leopard-like creature now sitting on the branch below him. He calls out, "Huh?" The leopard-like creature looks up at Jiha. "All right, I'm gonna get down and feed you. Just hold on for a bit," Jiha says, attempting to reassure it. Jiha's expression shifts to one of concern, but he mutters, the difficulty of his situation dawning on him. Getting down is the problem. Jiha loses his grip and begins to fall from the tree, his arms flailing. Suddenly, vines lash out from the tree, wrapping around Jiha's leg. Jiha cries out in shock as more vines ensnare him, binding him tightly. What? He yells. A monstrous, plant-like creature with glowing red eyes emerges from the foliage, its mouth wide in a menacing grin. Jiha stares in terror as the plant monster lunges, its vines tightening around him. He screams. The vines constrict Jiha further, leaving him completely bound. He's dangling from the tree, calling for help. "Knight, Beam, save me, save me." Plant monster roars in fury, its eyes burning with malice. "Arg!" The plant monster's sharp teeth gnash as it looms over Jiha, its vines still holding him captive. Jiha, still wrapped in vines, looks around in confusion. "Huh?" Plant monster approaches Jiha, its expression softening slightly, its vines loosening their grip. The leopard-like creature watches from above. Jiha, now free from the vines, looks at the plant creature. "Thanks for getting me down," he stammers gratefully. Jiha, now on the ground, looks towards a distant mountain range. "We must cross this plain to get to Mount Apido," he states. Jiha ponders the name. Mount Apido sounds familiar, he muses. In the background, a broken cart and scattered crates suggest a recent disturbance. It's where the people who escaped the Estram kingdom were heading. A voiceover explains, according to the information from the pterodrones, the dungeon where Han Sung-hyuk's trace was found was south of Estram kingdom, near the Tails River. A map is unfurled, showing a river. The map says the Tails River flows next to Mount Apido. Jiha looks out at the landscape. "Where I'm facing right now is the south of Mount Apido," he observes. "The Tails River should be behind this mountain." Jiha points at the map with a pen. "Maybe we have to go to Mount Apido to find Han Sung-hyuk's traces." Jiha holds up a hand, a faint glow emanating from it. He looks at the map, then back at his surroundings. "Yet this is the farthest I can go," he says, indicating a limit to his current abilities or reach. Jiha turns to face a vast army of beetle-like creatures. "I'll leave Mount Apido to you guys." The beetles respond in unison, "Yes, sir." Jiha smiles, looking towards the horizon where a figure is flying. "Then, let's grab something to eat with Beam," he suggests. "Jiha, are you sure you deserve this?" "Of course you do, you are the future of H. Wait a minute. You told me that you wanted to get to know him personally. I'm talking very personally right now. Sorry about this. Manager Kim is a well-known workaholic, so he's not good at this." "Ahaha, I see. I appreciate everything. I'll treat you to a nice meal next time." "Thank you. See you again. Hunter management will remember this favor." "Haha. Ha, he's perfect at work. He's cute in a way." "Then, shall we talk more inside?" "Sure." "What are you drawing?" "Give me a second, it's almost done." "A mountain and a river, and this is the Estram kingdom?" "Yes, correct. My drawing isn't perfect, but if you see any terrain similar to this drawing, use the scroll while thinking of Mr. Sung-hyuk. If Mr. Sung-hyuk is nearby, it will tell you where he is. I wish I could test it, but this is the one I made with the last ink." Thank you so much. I believe he is alive somewhere. I'll help you as much as I can until we find him." You are a kind person. Ah, it's nothing. Friends are supposed to help each other. If you need help with anything, please let me know. She's too close. Just realized, where's Biam? Ah, about that. A white leopard sprints through the moonlit forest. Bathed in ethereal blue energy under the full moon, the majestic white leopard stands atop a rocky outcrop. A massive, wolf-like creature, chained and surrounded by goblins wielding crude weapons, lies subdued. The one who conveys the will of the god, Growler.